Hey everyone, I'm
Hello,
John
gang.
Rennie, and thanks for joining us here in the Boneyard. If you're a fan of cinema conversations, you'll recognize Kerry there, who's General Dog's buddy at Cinema Conversations. So we've done how many live streams together now, Kerry?
8, I think.
So we've done 8 together over on Cinema Conversations.
Yes, yeah.
Kerry runs that channel, and this is the first time we've done one here together on Boneyard Cinema.
Pleased to be here. Happy to be here.
So I figured we should do something different than the last 3 George Romero watch-alongs.
They were good, though.
Oh, well, I really enjoyed them, especially Dawn of the Dead. I thought Dawn of the Dead was a good one. That
Yeah,
really got
flick.
people chatting in the comments, that one did.
Yeah, it was very interactive. I was in the comments myself, and there was a lot of love going about the movie, and
I think
yourself
people
and-
love it. I mean, that was what. So tonight's movie is Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes from 1977. I think Dawn was 78, I think, wasn't it?
I think, yeah, 78, yeah.
Dawn of the Dead was 1978. But Craven's in there with those people. Like
Big time,
so he's one of the, as Mick Garris called them, the masters of horror, who he got together later on.
Mm-hmm.
These are mostly filmmakers who were kind of born in the 30s and 40s, grew up in the 50s and 60s. So you got people like Tobe Hooper, who came out with his first 2 movies, Eggshells and Chainsaw Massacre, in the early 70s. Romero did his first film in 68, after all his commercials and things that he'd done in Pittsburgh. So he was already a commercial filmmaker, I guess. We've got Wes Craven, who we're going to be discussing tonight. Stuart Gordon, Reanimator Stuart Gordon. He was kind of that same generation of horror filmmakers. Mick Garris, who started making films later on. He was on the Z channel first. I remember doing kind of press junkets for The Fog and things like that.
The Z, was he?
Yeah, the Z. I think it was called the Z channel, if I remember rightly. But he kind of put them all together as the masters of horror.
Would you say John Landis as well?
I would say John Landis. I mean, his career has been varied.
Yeah.
He started with Schlock, that was kind of a comedy version of a Roger Corman film, shall we say. He was like, he had the monster guy in the suit.
Yes.
And he was kind of...
Very Corman.
Yeah, very Corman-esque. He was being self-referential with his sense of humor. He then did the same thing with Kentucky Fried Movie, didn't he?
Yes, yeah.
So it was, that was very self-referential. That was referencing media, adverts, whatever was in the press at the time, presidents, all that kind of stuff. And then what was Landis' breakout? Animal House?
Animal House and American Werewolf, I think.
American Werewolf was his big horror one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did do Masters of Horror. I remember him doing the Deer Woman on the TV series Masters of Horror, Landis.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's why I'm thinking.
He also did a film with Natasha Kinski, but the name of it escapes us now, that was everybody just kind of forgot about. It was I like Landis though, I do. End of the Night. The famous one was The Twilight Zone, that he was that he was notorious for a while because there was deaths on set.
Yes.
Yeah, there was, and it was due to
The Gremlin, wasn't it? That was done.
Yes. So he was doing the one with Victor Morrow, who died in The Twilight Zone, which was about a guy who was kind of a, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the streams, but he was racist, and he ended up seeing what it was like from the other side.
Yeah,
that's kind of what the episode was in The Twilight Zone. Hey, Solitude. Thanks for joining us. Solitude saying, I was planning to rewatch Poltergeist after your excellent philosophical reflection, but we'll join you watching The Hills Have Eyes. Thanks very much, Solitude. It was with that last Poltergeist review. I watched loads of other people's reviews, and I wanted to try and avoid what everybody else talked about with it. I thought, what can I bring new to the conversation? So I looked at it through the media eye, the lens of the television set, influenced by Videodrome, I have to say, David Cronenberg. You know, the whole like Marshall McLuhan type of look at media. So I thought, well, what can the TV mean? I read a couple of articles, sourced a couple of books I've got here about Tobe Hooper's work, and just read through it and thought, what can I bring to the table? I guess a lot of it's been discussed already, but what can I bring to the table that was me? So I ended up talking about the kind of Jungian philosophies and things that interest me. And you can look at them, I think, under that kind of lens, especially horror movies, which we'll actually discuss tonight, because Wes Craven was a pretty philosophical guy.
Very smart guy, yeah.
A very smart guy as well. And some of his movies are almost not documentaries, but they're influenced by true stories. And I was quite...
Nightmare wasn't it? So...
Yeah, Nightmare was. It was inspired by some articles about, was it Filipino boys?
I think so, yeah.
Who were having nightmares and they were actually dying in their sleep. But there was one case in particular when the kid, he said he was literally hiding coffee pots in the closet.
Jeepers.
And all that kind of inspired his work. It's Serpent in the Rainbows, inspired by Wade Davies' Serpent in the Rainbows book.
I ever said that, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, which is great. He always did. We'll get into Hills Have Eyes. But what happened with Hills Have Eyes was he'd had one hit already, and it was actually quite a big hit. He had Last House on the Left in 72, I believe. Was it 72, Kerry?
72, yeah.
72, Last House on the Left, which was made because Sean S. Cunningham, Friday the 13th, Mr. Friday the 13th, in fact.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Sean S. Cunningham, he was running a company that was distributing to cinemas. And one cinema chain that he was distributing to said, can you make us a low-budget horror film for $90,000 to show in our chain of cinemas? And Cunningham said to Craven, who was syncing up dailies for Cunningham, from what I've seen in my research for this stream, at the time he was syncing up dailies for Cunningham's company. And Cunningham said, okay, dude, here's your chance. These 90 grand, write, direct, and you can edit it here as well, a movie, and we'll see if we can play it in these cinema chains. And lo and behold, Craven's first film that wasn't, did he do the pornography before then?
I think he did, yeah. Angela the Firewoman.
Yeah, I knew it as
after.
Yeah, I knew it as the Fireworks Woman.
Fireworks Woman, that's
yeah, the film, but Angela Fireworks Woman as well. Yeah, it was, and I did see that back in the day when I started collecting his movies. I actually managed to source it, and I watched the Fireworks Woman. And
I saw it in Kex.
Craven's actually in it.
Yeah,
it's, he's looking very like Freddy. He wears a top hat and stuff. He looks very Freddy-ish in the film, to the point where you're not sure if he's real or not. He kind of disappears on screen. So there was, even though it was porno, there was definitely Craven bits and pieces in there, I thought, when I watched that movie. I definitely did.
I saw it in CX or Kex, whatever you want to pronounce it, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a VHS edition. So I was like, how much is this? And they said about £20.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay. And I was going to get it, and then it was actually just a case.
Yeah.
Somebody must have kept the video.
Oh, man. I did get it. I've probably got it, the VHS, in a box somewhere, because I don't think I'll have thrown that away. I've probably got it in the loft somewhere. But I did collect his movies. And we'll get into it, I guess, how much his films mean to us. Like I say, he's part of that generation that really inspired me. And he's up there with Romero and Carpenter, particularly, because I kind of saw their films and Cronenberg one after the other. I kind of saw Night of the Living Dead very soon after. I saw Hills Have Eyes, Shivers. I saw a lot of their earlier films all at the same time because they were all on VHS because they'd been big rental hits in the 1980s. And obviously, a lot of people were leasing them in the video boom in the 1980s. So the cassettes were everywhere for these kind of horror movies.
And probably copies of copies
were going around. And that's how I saw a lot. I do remember Hills Have Eyes having a forefront video release in the UK.
Okay.
Had kind of green writing on the front. I remember buying that one, and there was also an orange release of it too that had like an orange banner, but I can't remember who it was released by. But I had those two.
Was that the same company who did Texas Chainsaw? Because
I'm not sure.
That sounds familiar.
It might have been.
Banner.
Yeah, I do actually remember what you mean now.
Yeah.
I remember our friend Glenn Criddle from Silk and Celluloid showing the VHS of Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't have that. I think it was a rare one, wasn't it? But yeah, I do.
That was, I think.
I think it might have been the same company. Yeah, I think you might be right because it was squared on the front.
Yeah,
with a white box, orange banner with Michael Berryman's character. On the front. I always forget the names. It's Jupiter, Mars. They're all named after the planets, right?
Or goddesses and gods.
Ruby. Yep, one of them's called Ruby. It's. Let's get going. I guess we've been going for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let us know, Solitude, if you're watching the film. Just give us a thumbs up when you've got it ready to play. I'll give us a countdown and we'll get going. But yeah, 1977, it took him, 72 till 77, that's how long it took him to get another movie made, then I take it.
Yeah, possibly, because I think, as we said before, he was doing some porn between.
And he did post-production, I remember. I remember buying 2 films that Craven edited. I think he was a post-production supervisor, I think, if I remember rightly. I should have thought about those and wrote them down in my notes, but I remember particularly looking for a couple of films that he edited. Solitude, I was born already.
Nice to know.
That's got to be the chat of the night. I was born ready.
Yeah, just looking at Wikipedia here. He did The Fireworks Woman after Last House.
All right.
And then Hills of Ice, Stranger in Our House, Deadly Blessing.
Stranger in Our House. I like Deadly Blessing too.
Swamp Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street. And then he got more into his more famous work after Nightmare.
So Nightmare was the one that shot him into stardom, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
because it was such a big hit. I think all the other independent companies came after him then, didn't they?
Well, Robert Shea was with New Line. So
I really like Bob Shea. There's some cool stories about that guy.
Oh yeah, I was watching a cool documentary about him myself.
I mean, I think he was. I mean, it was interesting because I've just covered Poltergeist there. A lot of people seem to think Spielberg and Hooper's relationship was crazy, but it wasn't that crazy. You know, producers have always got a very kind of tight grip on the production. That's their job.
Yeah, it's their money. So
exactly, it's their money. They have to have a tight grip, and I think a good producer should. You know, I mean, I love hearing Richard P. Rubinstein talk about his work with Romero, and it's in that documentary Document of the Dead that the Roy Funks made, following Romero around when he was making Dawn in the Monroeville Mall. And I remember Richard P. Rubinstein saying, I see my job as a producer, to provide the canvas, the brush, the palette, and the paint for Romero. I probably mentioned that on the Dawn stream because I really like that quote. It's like, that was one of the first times I realized that, that's what a producer does then. You know, that's they provide a box for the filmmaker to kind of play in. It's a sand pit, you know. They provide the sand, but you can't go out of the pit.
Yeah. You can't play unless you have got the sand, or whatever. Yeah.
Chef, we've got it ready. I'm going to hit...
Whenever yours are.
Going to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I've got the window up so I can check our time codes as well when we're going.
Okay, dokie. A Vanguard release. That takes me back.
Vanguard, yeah. So yeah, Peter Locke. So that was interesting. I was making some notes. In fact, let me grab the notes. So Peter Locke, I was watching. There's actually a making of many, many years ago. I bought a 2-disc DVD of The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay.
And there's a making of that runs about an hour. And you get Peter Locke, cinematographer Eric Saarinen, I think you pronounce it. I think it's Saarinen, Saarinen, Saarinen. And I knew him from Death Race 2000. Because I'm a big Corman fan, and I remember being a kid and actually seeing his name on Hills of Eyes and thinking, I remember his name from the credits of Death Race 2000. But that's a great doc. It's on. There's an edition on YouTube as well, which I found on YouTube.
There we go, Saarinen, yes.
Saarinen.
Yeah, Saarinen or whatever, yeah.
So I mean, it was a Roger Corman crew who pretty much made this, and that's really interesting because Craven kind of said they have more experience than I did. So he said he'd shot Last House with maybe 3 or 4 people, but he had 7 or 8 people, upwards to 15 people on making Hills Have Eyes. So it was a big
jumping crew,
big jumping crew for him.
I love this actually. You know, it's so desolate.
Yeah,
but it's it's like you believe people actually live there, even though.
Oh, what, it was an actual location?
Oh, right.
So this is great as well. It was a location, but the production designer on this movie was Robert Burns.
Okay.
More commonly known as Bob Burns.
Yeah.
Who was a production designer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74.
Ah.
So a lot of the bones and things that are actually in the movie are stuff that he had in his kind of kit bag already.
Okay, that's cool.
I know. I'm not sure. I couldn't find out how he ended up getting the job. I'm not sure if it was off the back of Chainsaw Massacre.
Probably was, to be honest with you, because it's around the same time. So, like, Texas Chainsaw was 74, 75, 76. Yeah. So.
And this has a great look. I mean, the movie does look good.
Yeah. He actually reminds you of Robert Farnsworth a bit.
Yeah, I can see that. He's got that. He's got that how cowboy look going.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was Dee Wallace Dee Wallace is in this. This was actually one of Dee Wallace's first films.
Oh, cool.
Who played the mother in E.T. and she also went on to play the well, she was the reporter in Howlin'. She was in a lot of kind of famous movies from this period. And I mean, who was the Howlin'? That was Dante, right? Joe Dante.
I think so.
So she was working with some of the really good genre directors.
Just checking here.
Yeah.
Yep. It was Joe Dante, yeah. Dante, whatever, yeah.
But it's a great way of setting the story up that they are in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, just even watching it here, it looks great.
It does, yeah. Looks like a real lived in house, and I know it is, but I mean, or, you know. But you actually believe people actually live here?
Yeah.
It's not a set.
And it looks like, I mean, I love the way it looks. I mean, this is kind of why I wanted to pick this for one of my first ones that wasn't Craven. So now we're introduced to the family here, though. The family are regular Joes. I mean, the guy's an ex-cop, you know, his wife's a homemaker. He's got the
daughter and
the daughter's husband and the two dogs, Beauty and the Beast.
The family dog, yeah. Family dogs, yeah.
Which was interesting.
The remake does set the atmosphere with the music.
Yes.
Whereas this has no music, so to speak. This is straight into it.
It's one of the things I want to comment on. Don Peake did the music on this.
Okay.
And I knew him as a kid from Knight Rider, Don Peake. He did it was a lot. I think he did most of the series of Knight Rider, if not all.
Stu Phillips.
Yeah, so he didn't do the theme that Stu Phillips did?
No, Stu Phillips did the theme, yeah.
But I think Don Peake came on after, like
he did the score and the music
in the show, yeah.
Ambient music.
He released them as albums. I've got a lot of the albums, but I really like Don Peake because his score in this, the first time I saw it, gave me the creeps.
That's good.
I mean, it's really like Cold Hand on the Back of the Neck score. It really is, and I think it adds a lot to the movie. I really wanted to mention Don Peake.
Solid Shoot is saying, anyone watched Frankenstein yet? It's getting mixed reviews. Not yet, but hopefully soon.
But no, I haven't seen it yet. So I know it came out Friday, I think.
Yesterday, yeah.
In fact, Solitude, it was you that mentioned it was out Friday, I remember, in the last one of the streams on Wednesday. But I haven't seen it yet. I am going to watch it. But I was in a Wes Craven frame of mind. I've been watching a lot of Wes Craven films. But he sets it up so well. I mean, you can tell that this family are out of their element already.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's a lot more referenced in the remake, isn't it? The fact that there's a military base around here somewhere.
Or the jet, I should say. Because it's their experiments, I think, isn't it, that caused the mutations and...
It turns everything on its head, this movie. I've loved it. I mean, this was actually my father's influence, my dad.
Cool.
When I was getting into horror, early days, like 10, 11, 12 years old, I was already watching a lot. I just loved it. I mean, I loved film in general. And still do, funnily enough. But I remember my dad saying I was getting into horror, and my dad said, if you like horror, Hills Have Eyes is a really well-made horror. And I mean, that's not like my dad wouldn't say that. You know, he likes British kitchen sink drama.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I remember him saying and he thought it was well made enough because me being interested in films to let me watch it at that age. Because I think he himself thought, well, that's a really good film. It's not like it's some rubbishy exploitation, you know, like a film that's going to have, you know, nudity in it for no reason, blood in it for no reason.
And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, tension and scares, obviously, you know, but
scares.
I think, you see, for me, my dad was a huge Sean Connery fan.
Yes. And
the first movie we watched together was The Last Crusade.
Oh, I love The Last Crusade, yeah. And I think that's my favorite Indiana Jones.
Me too. And then we watched a bit of, you know, the Bonds he did and all that.
Yeah.
And then there was a Outland, I think. No, hang on, no.
It's my favorite Sean Connery movie, Outland.
No, it was the one where he plays Richard, King Richard.
First Night?
I can't remember, but anyway, he put that on. He said, if you like your history, watch this. And it was about the Crusades and all that. And
Is that the one with Richard Gere?
No.
And Julie Ormond? No. All right.
No, this is 70s.
70s. Robin and Marilyn?
That could be it.
The one where he was kind of Robin Hood?
Yeah, oh, maybe, yeah, I thought it was Richard. No, it was Richard in Prince of Thieves. That's what I'm thinking.
Thieves, right.
That's right. Yeah, it was Robin and Marion, yeah.
I remember that because of the last fight with the axes. It's one of my favorite final fights when he fights the Sheriff of Nottingham with the axes. It's brilliant seeing that. But listen, Don Peake's score coming in here.
Yeah.
It really unsettled us more than what I was watching. It really did. And I mean, it's just so great. It's like I wasn't expecting it, because I was expecting it to kind of have that really kind of low rent look that Last House had.
Oh, it's more polished for sure.
It's a huge step up, and I mean, I'm not sure. They do mention it in that documentary I watched today, but I think it might have still been 16 millimeter. I think it still might have been 60 millimeter for the handheld stuff.
Oh,
because the director of photography was saying that he wanted to shoot 32, and I think he was like, we can't afford it. It's like,
well, it looks right. It looks really good to me. So
it's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, but like he says, he had an experienced crew on this for the first time he ever had an experienced crew.
It shows, doesn't it? Like, because Last House was very, compared to this, very amateurish.
Oh, totally, yes. I mean, it was. I mean, it fits. It does. Solitude was just saying, didn't Hills get a remake? Poltergeist 2, didn't like it. I seem to remember. But yeah, the Hills remake was good. I don't think it handled the violence and the scenes of assault as well as this film does.
No,
it was a little bit more. See, this is interesting about Hills Have Eyes. I think this is why maybe my old man didn't mind us watching it, right? Even though there's lots of violence in it. Is that it's not gratuitous violence in the Hills Have Eyes. It's violence, yes. But it's not gratuitous violence. I really feel that way about it. And I often talked about this when I was teaching in ethics classes, teaching about the ethics of filmmaking.
Yeah.
I used to quote Wes Craven as saying that, yes, there's violence in my films, but it's violence. It's not gratuitous violence. And what he said about Hills Have Eyes was that he wanted the violence in it to feel like real violence.
Yeah.
The same as Last House. He said, we see violence every day. So an audience is smart. You know?
Yeah, it's not violent for the sake of it. It's realistic.
It is. It's realistic violence.
It happens. It can happen to anybody.
Exactly.
How Friedkin did The Exorcist.
Yes.
Like a family's having a bad day, a bad week, whatever.
Yeah.
Bad time of it. It can happen to anybody.
Totally.
Whereas this is like a puncture.
Exactly.
It happens. And the dogs obviously have to get out for fresh air and do their business, whatever.
I mean, it's interesting. It's a trope of horror. I mean, the guys now they're out of their element. This family from LA and now in the desert where they're out of their element.
Yeah.
Again, to quote Craven, because I used to quote him a lot in lectures because I really like him a lot, and he does speak very eloquently about horror and why he did what he did. I really like to listen to him talk about why he did what he did. But I mean, he would say that this story of this is Beauty and the Beast. He would say I was influenced by those myths. The story, the dog Beauty and the Beast, it's a story of revenge. What one gets killed, the other one gets revenge. But he said it's about how far we can get pushed before we will become what we once were. So there's so the two families in this are the dark side and the light side of families. You know what I mean? There's a really dark family who will literally kill you and eat you to survive. And there's this family who would never dream of doing that until they get pushed to a certain point, and then they become the people that they're fighting.
I would say the same with Last House.
Last House. Oh, totally.
Very much the same kind of trope.
Very much the same. The parents in that film. So this is kind of the opposite. It's the children fighting for the parents.
Yeah.
Whereas Last House is the parents fighting for the kids.
Yeah, for the daughter especially, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I went like that earlier, because it's...
But yeah, I've got to say, I didn't like the Poltergeist remake either. Solitude.
I haven't seen it.
I wasn't.
I have no interest in seeing it, but...
It seemed very generic to me.
Okay, right.
And it kind of missed everything that makes the original makes the original original. It kind of missed the whole point. It was very generic horror.
I'm always impressed by, you see a shot like that with the binoculars.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder, how did it do that?
I guess it'll telephoto lenses, maybe.
Yeah, I think
maybe
so.
they'll
Yeah.
stick a telephoto lens on there.
Must be, because you wouldn't get the length and aperture and all that.
Again, I've just got to mention that Don Peak music coming in.
Yeah.
It was the first kind of score I'd heard like this. It's really like, because even though I'd seen Chainsaw Massacre before this, the Chainsaw Massacre score isn't a score, it's like a soundscape. Whereas I knew this was a piano or an organ, but it's so so low and grumbly and just gorgeous,
It's unsettling too.
It is totally unsettling. And I remember that making us more afraid, because at the time, watching this as a younger film viewer, I was thinking, they're in the light, it's okay. There's nothing's going to happen until dark, but the music's putting us on edge constantly. Just those little drops in. And I wonder, I mean, obviously Knight Rider is a great peak to have had in your career.
Peak, yeah.
But
Don Peak, yeah.
But that was totally unintentional.
Oh yeah, he says that now.
But I'm surprised Don Peak didn't do more. I mean, I did check IMDb out, and he did a lot of television and a lot of other movies. But the work he did on not Last House, People Under the Stairs and Hills Have Eyes are kind of his two most famous scores.
Yeah.
Other than Knight Rider.
But I think with Knight Rider, when it was aired, I think they had a lot of, 80s pop music going on.
Yes.
Which helped, contemporary music and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have the DVD releases of it from 2005, and they're all kind of substituted.
Yeah.
Or sound alikes, as in somebody else singing them.
Oh, right, I know what you mean. I had a lot of those like kind of 60s mixes like that.
Yeah.
I remember buying those kind of
the
60s
big one,
ones.
Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
The start of season 2 with Gareth Knight. And it doesn't sound half as good as Mick Jagger singing it,
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. This is the tarantula scene. Dee Wallace said this was the hardest thing she had to do ever.
Oh, right.
Because she really didn't want to do it because she hates spiders. And apparently Craven kind of picked it up and said, if I put it on me, I hate spiders as well. Will you do it? And she said, yeah, okay, then if you do it first. So Wes Craven picked up the tarantula and put it on himself. But you can tell they're totally out of their element. And I know that's a trope of horror. But I mean, even the clothes they're wearing, are they even expecting it to get cold in the desert at night?
Yeah, well, that's true as well. Yeah. Apart from the father there, he's more, I think he's, as you say, he's next cop, so he'll be.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't want to do spoilers, but I guess we'll do spoilers, right? Because I mean, we're watching it because I really liked it. I really wanted to talk about it. But I thought he was going to be the savior. I mean, this is young John watching this. This is when I was much younger.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was thinking, oh, okay, well, he's going to go. He's a cop. He's probably going to sort things out, And it was just like, I found this film really shocking, and but in a great way. It was like an experience. I felt like I experienced Hills Have Eyes the first time I saw it, and it was a terrifying experience. But at the same time, I was like elated. It made us, because I knew that I was seeing something special. It was kind of like, this is different.
You had recommended it, so you kind of half expecting something.
Yeah, I was expecting.
And then it was totally different. And
it's just. I mean, obviously Craven got the credit for it that he deserved, because he ended up getting a couple of more films off this. After this, he did Deadly Blessing and Swamp Thing. But I mean, to quote again, me doing some research on it, Dee Wallace said, "We were all working as hard as we possibly could because we all wanted a break." She was saying we all knew that we had to commit fully to this film, because we're going to be in the desert, in the heat, in the cold, 100 miles away from Los Angeles. Do you know what I mean? And we knew that we had to commit fully to this film if we were to get anything out of it. And she said we all wanted something out of it. This was like, we all wanted to make a film good enough to get us more work, to get us another film,
Yeah.
And Craven, I mean, I think even this on his second or third movie now, I guess we're talking about if we include the fireworks woman, is that he already has an artistic vision. And I think it's more than just your average horror director already in this. This isn't like as much as I love him, it's not like a William Castle experience.
Oh God, no, Jesus, no.
This is a William. This is a
Wes Craven experience.
A Wes Craven experience. He was trying to push buttons and scare people, electrocute people in the theater.
Yeah, I think that would have cheapened it a bit.
Or send a skeleton across the audience's heads. Because House on Haunted Hill, Castle's version, is one of my favorite. I love that film. I'm not getting down on Castle here, but it's a different kind of experience.
He produced Rosemary's Baby.
Yes.
And Polanski said to him, "Don't do any of that shit."
I can imagine Polanski saying that.
Yeah, and he said, "Don't do any of that shit you do to normally do. This has to be, genuine scare, not forced scare."
Yeah.
And I think, as we said last on in the last stream,
yeah,
it is one of my favorite horrors. Because of the fact that can happen to anybody. It is, is it psychological horror? Definitely.
It is, yeah, definitely. Because we don't know if it's real.
If it's real, the cult's real, the satanic cult's real, or is she really having trouble with her baby, or we don't know.
That's great. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It really is. It's like with Craven, it's like this is actual violence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what was shocking about us for it.
It's realistic, as I said earlier.
And there's no ifs or buts about it. Like, this is about getting pushed too far, and it's like, how far can we be pushed?
Greetings, Minters.
Hey, Timbo Bill. How you doing? Good evening, people of the ghetto. Minty here. Hey, Minty, I hope you're keeping well. If you want to watch along, Hills of Eyes, the link's below. We've just hit 20 minutes into the film. If you want to watch along. But that's what it is. I really think that's what it is. And it was he was one of the first directors who made us feel gritty, And I think that's why audiences had such a reaction to Last House, because he made people feel a way they didn't want to feel. And I mean, in my book, that's a work of art. That's a director doing what they should be doing. If they can make you feel something, And I mean, the score here, I'm going to mention it again because I love it so much, and it's coming more into play here. The score,
louder.
I mean, it was giving me goosebumps the first time I watched this. I mean, it's almost like the sound of the desert's in there, the dryness of it. It's like, it's just perfect.
Yeah, it's really, building, isn't it?
It's really, really spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky score. Frankenstein was apparently.
Well, what?
Minty Timbo Bills just said Frankenstein was not very good.
All right. Okay. Well, that just ruins my evening.
Well, we'll see. Like I say, I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to it, Timbo.
Hope you guys,
really
yeah.
All right. You enjoy.
You're all gonna laugh at you, Bobby. Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Tim was saying you enjoyed Poultrygeist by Trauma.
That was a great studio, didn't say for sure.
Oh, amazing Kaufman, man. Really amazing. I remember reading somewhere that it was Gunn, right? James Gunn who wrote Romeo and Juliet.
Yep, that's right.
All right. I like Trauma. I was a big fan of the Toxie.
Yeah, Toxic, yeah. I was going to say.
What was the movie Toxic Avenger? I was trying to think of the full name. Toxic.
Oh, God, how can you not forget that?
I just remembered Toxie. I was a big fan of Toxie.
Toxie!
I mean, there was even a cartoon I remember when I was a kid.
That's right, there was, yeah.
Right.
3 films, the cartoon and the remake.
But it's perfect, this. I mean, the location that they picked for it being out there in the middle of nowhere, they actually are out there in the middle of nowhere. It really feels like they're out there in the middle of nowhere.
Well, they are, because there's nowhere else it can be.
And it was like Deolis was saying with the spider earlier on. She was saying she was really afraid. These people really do seem afraid. Oh, man, Beauty's dead. They've just killed Beauty. Apparently, this is IMDb, so it might not be real. When I was doing a little bit of reading, the dog was real.
Oh, the dog was real. Okay.
Yes. But I hope it wasn't the real Beauty dog.
I wouldn't think it would be.
Romeo and Juliet. Yes, Bill. Romeo and Juliet. And the band who played in it, I always forget, but I have their album. I don't know who it was.
I can't place it myself either, so excuse me.
Look at these beautiful shots they're getting, man.
I
mean, it's no wonder, like I was saying earlier on, that it was a more experienced crew. I mean, I felt for them. I still do when I watch it. I mean, I must have seen Hills Have Eyes. It's got to be, I don't know, it's got to be maybe it's over 100 times. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. I watched it that much as a kid, you know, the video. I watched it again and again and again and again because it was like I really enjoyed the experience of the movie. And it was something I wanted to get like later on when I started making stuff. The soundtrack really stayed with us. The kind of dryness of it and the snappiness of it. And just the evilness of this film is the fact that, as I said earlier, it's about them getting pushed too far. But I mean, like, they use their own mother as bait later on. And it's just like, man, how far do you have to be pushed to use your own mother for bait? You know?
I think, you see, it's like, it's got I want to say siege mentality.
Definitely, aye.
You know?
Definitely. Aye,
you have to sacrifice a soldier.
Yes.
You know, but they chose their mom. Well, her, you know, her mom, not his mom. You know,
I mean, I think you really feel it. I mean, like when Wallace is fighting for a baby later on, she feels like she's really fighting for a baby. You know, she seems like she's a mother fighting for a child. And I wasn't used to seeing that. I was used to seeing people acting, you know? And this didn't feel like acting. It felt real. And I think because of the situation that you can tell they're physically in real life.
To borrow subgenre, it's very neo-realistic.
Yes, it is.
You know, like what the Seekers films in Italy and
yeah,
you know, so
the bicycle thieves, right? The famous one.
Yeah,
bicycle thieves. Yeah.
Yes, Miss Minty, yeah, that's true.
Perhaps the mother had an amazing life insurance policy.
She probably did.
I bet there was some insurance on that van.
I hope there was. Oh, excuse me.
I mean, I guess you get that with a lot of low-budget horror. Like, because they are filming on locations.
Oh, right, okay.
And it does feel a little bit grittier, a bit realer, perhaps, because of
that. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant something else.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking, like, really get, you know, real yokels and get mutants and...
Oh, right.
You know? But no, there would be... It is... The location is a character in itself, I think, as well.
I mean, in the remake, they're mutants.
Yes.
In this one, it's the guy who owns the garage's son. So he kind of explains it later on that the guy in the garage was his father, and he smashed him in the face with a tire iron when he was a kid and split his face open because he set fire to the house and killed his sister. So the kid runs away into the desert, grabs a girl who won't be missed from the town, a woman of the night, shall we say, who won't be missed from the town, and starts his own inbred family out there in the hills. And he kind of explains it to the dad when he gets back to the town later on, and it was like, so that was based on the Shawnee Bean family that used to stalk the road in the 1800s, the carriage roads between Edinburgh and London. They lived in a cave next to the ocean.
Oh, okay.
And they were kind of an inbred family, true life family. This is what Craven was saying. He went to the library and found this story that he kind of based the screenplay of Hills Have Eyes on. So yeah, they're called the Shawnee Bean family in Scotland between Edinburgh and London. The old carriage roads, and they would kill the horses and eat the horses, kill the people, eat the people, and rob them. And they lived in this cave. So when the ocean came in, the cave didn't have an entrance. So they were very hard to find until one day one of the people they had kidnapped to kill and eat, presumably, escaped. And then what happened was they were brought to London, and the Shawnee Bean family were tortured horribly by society. So literally put on the rack, the wives were killed in front of the husbands, and and Craven had said that really interested him. The fact that society turned into just as much evilness as the family themselves had been. It was like society held a mirror up against itself, and they were the monsters that they were killing.
Yeah.
That was the story that he was interested in telling. I thought that was really cool.
Solitude says, this reminds me of an X-Files episode in which a mom was cut off her arms and legs and allowed her sons to use her for sexual services. That episode still haunts me. Yeah, that was called Home.
Yep, it's called Home, yep. It's
Season 4, episode 2.
Very, very scary. In fact, I seem to remember that was only shown once, and then they never showed it again on TV, right? Because everybody was so freaked out by it. I remember I was an X-Files fan back in the day. I remember seeing that ad for the first time.
I still am. So
it is very scary and very, like, I guess based in some kind of reality, that episode as well. That's what makes it so freaky,
Well, I think, you see, it's a funny episode as well.
It is. I mean, there was it's a lot of it's looking back on it now through a modern lens. The X-Files really gets misunderstood.
Well, we're rewatching it at the minute. We're up to season 3, episode 17.
Oh, cool.
So, because Lexi hasn't seen the whole series.
So we're about to season 3, 17.
That would be after the Black Oil.
Oh, right. Excellent. So you've got Krychek, who's like my favorite in the world.
Yeah, Krychek's in the bunker.
I love Alex Krychek. He's like one of my favorite characters in TV show history. I love that. So is it season 2 when they lock him in the bunker and it's coming out with his eyes?
That's season 3.
That's season 3.
That's the Apocrypha episode.
I love Krychek, man. I mean, no spoilers, but I just love his character, how he ends up and everything. He's so great. I mean, I love the fact I thought he was a good guy at first, and it's like he doesn't even work there, right? He's just snuck into the building. It's weird.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it because some people haven't seen it. No, but Krychek definitely is a multi-layered character, shall we say?
Timbo Bell had to call that episode "Cash and Carry."
Ka-ching!
Ka-ching! Awesome. So this is the bit I was talking about where the guy tells him the story. So that it's his kid. So that the main guy, Maz, the main bad guy, is or is it Jupiter? I always get the names mixed up.
I think it's Jupiter.
So he's the guy that's based on Goya's painting. So I guess it's Jupiter because it's Jupiter eats his son, right? That's what the Goya painting's called, the really famous one. Jupiter, I think it's Jupiter devours his son, right? The really famous painting. And he says later on, there's a bit where he's actually eating an arm. And he was inspired by that Goya painting, Wes Craven. So crazy how he's getting all these ideas of really highbrow art in The Hills Have Eyes.
But that just shows how intelligent.
It's what makes him smart. That's what makes
smart Craven is or was.
I think that's what makes his film stand out. I think that's why we're still talking about The Hills Have Eyes. What's that? 77.
So that's 50 years later.
50 years later, yeah.
He also actually reminds me of I don't know if you ever played it, Resident Evil 7.
Yes, I do. Is that the Africa Resident Evil 7?
No. This is where the family are. The main character goes to Louisiana.
Village?
No, that was the one before it.
That was the one before. I don't think I've played it then.
Right. Well, there's a DLC, and one of the characters you have to rescue, but you play as a different character, and he's the spitting image of him. The dad is the spitting image of, not the cop, the dad, but the Mars and Jupiter's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Or Jupiter's dad.
I'll have to check IMDb. I think Jupiter's the head of the family.
Yes.
And then you've got is Michael Berryman Mars. Wait a sec, let's check.
We have to check because we don't know.
I know, because we keep
Berryman, Pluto.
Right, Pluto, right. You should know. I'm picking up how many times I've seen the film. I don't even know people's names.
Yeah. And then there's Lance Gordon as Mars.
Right. James
Whitworth as Jupiter. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Jupiter, James Whitworth, he's kind of like the granddaddy of the family.
Yes, yeah.
So Michael Berryman's Pluto, Lance is Mars, right? And you got Mama as well. It was funny, I was looking at other people's reviews of this, and one thing I never ever thought of is that one reviewer was saying they didn't like the way that it was ethnic, the dress. They thought it was almost like Native American.
Okay.
So ethnic to United States, And I never saw that. I always just saw it as they're making clothes out of animals and what they've got. And, like people, hunters make trophies out of what they hunt. I just saw it as, but I thought it was an interesting take. I don't think I agree with it, but I thought it was an interesting take.
I would never got that.
I know. I thought that's why I thought that was a pretty interesting take, that they were calling it like almost like they were calling them the sons of the earth, like the Native Americans.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
God, Dee Wallace is so cool in this scene.
She's always cool, isn't she, Dee Wallace? She really is. Oh my God, is this the moment?
Dun, dun, dun.
I remember it shocking us so much.
Well, they're doing the right thing. They kill off the strongest links first.
Oh, totally. That's the thing. Like I say, I mean, I know that it's a trope now, but when I first saw this, I thought the dad was going to be the savior. I thought he was going to come back and save everybody. I thought he was going to go away, him and the old guy, when he's going to get together and come back and save everybody. But no way. Here he is, they're trying to get back to his family. And the fact that he was a cop too, but he's like, it's all quite... There's something Wes Craven said as well. He said that he looks at the world with like a cold eye, And the fact that this dude's an old man and he can't get back to his family and save them because he's like having trouble with his heart and stuff now, for example. It's so like, oh my God, this is awful. What would you do in that situation? And there's not many horrors made us feel like that. And I mean, the fact that it was kind of nuclear radiation and stuff in the remake makes it less, made it less real to me. But it's horrible because it's this guy's limitations that stops him from saving his family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, as I said, it's realistic and it's
realistic and horrific,
Yeah, yeah. And you believe it would happen.
And the taunting him now as well. It was so scary, And it's that whole thing. I mean, he can't do anything because he's just had a heart attack. It's like, oh my God, it's so like soul destroying. Daddy all done. This is a great story. When Craven did Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy wanted him for the movie because he was such a big fan of Hills Have Eyes. And he said that when he met Eddie Murphy, the first thing Eddie Murphy said was, what was it? She fat, baby fat, fat and juicy. like what the guy says later on. He said that was like the first kind of thing Eddie Murphy said to us when I met him. He was quoting Hills Have Eyes at us.
I can just picture that, all right?
I know.
Great misdirection here.
I mean, they're already starting to try and pull things together, I guess. And this has got some of Wes Craven, for what he later got known for, is kind of traps. So there's like, I don't know, like, obviously you've got the end of this with the explosion when they set up the matches and everything. And then you've got Nightmare on Elm Street when she sets all the traps for Freddy. And then you've got all the kind of cool traps in Scream, aye. The great ones in People Under the Stairs. Like when the house is all kind of trapped up and they hide in the walls and all that, and they've got all the different... He got kind of known for all those traps, didn't he?
I'm just looking at the way it's lit as well, this shot.
It's, like I say, it's really incredible. But it was a crew that knew what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Led by Eric Saarinen, for the Roger Corman crew. I mean, he famously said that this was made for the same as Halloween, $320,000. It was made for the same amount of money. And he just said, everybody said, that shoot like hell and we'll just get through it because everybody wanted this to be their break. You know what I mean?
But it shows though, doesn't it? Because like it is
definitely
like, okay, it's peanuts compared to today's budgets.
Yes. I mean, what would that be today? About $1.5 million, 320,000?
Yeah, I'd say something like that. Yeah,
about $1.5 million.
I don't know. But I mean, like, it's just atmosphere, tension.
Definitely.
You know, it's just.
Well, I mean, there's nothing out there.
It's extent.
The only light that's there is the light that they're making. You know, there's nothing out there. It's scary.
I want to say natural light. I know it's not, but it's, you know, like the light of the, you know,
from the firelight.
The caravan, yeah.
And the lights from inside. Because they do have power.
The firelight is more natural than the caravan light, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I'm not drinking anything Solitude. So I'm good for now.
What are we drinking tonight? I've got no ice left, but
ice, baby.
I'm just on the good old
the JR and Coke.
All right.
The John Reddy and Coke.
Well, no Coke, just ice. but I'm all out of ice now. So
all out of ice.
But I mean, just that line.
Yeah.
That's a total something that a mother would say to a daughter. I mean, like a normal daughter would say to her, you know, what's the matter? You don't like carrots anymore? This is just they're just a normal family. But they just happen to be a family who are cannibals. Do you know what I mean? What's the matter? You don't like dog anymore? It's like a mother saying to a kid, what's the matter? You don't like carrots anymore? There's something really cool about that. I mean, that's like I was saying before, that you've got the two families, kind of the dark side and the light side.
Definitely, yeah.
And I was just looking at some notes there I was making earlier on about the production design, and Craven was saying that he wanted it to look like, you know, very small figures in a massive landscape.
Oh, he succeeded for sure in that.
So he was already thinking really visually because he had that little bit more money. I mean, 90,000 and 320,000. So 90,000 on Last House, 320,000 on here.
3.5 times as much, and definitely shows, doesn't it?
I think you can totally see as well on this one. You can see his kind of the roots a little bit more. Like he loved. I remember him saying he grew up in fundamentalist Baptist church, Wes Craven. So he never saw any movies apart from Disney films.
Oh, okay.
Until I think he said he was a senior in college. So that was the kind of first time he went and started to see movies. And then when he got a job teaching, him and his wife started going to see like the art house flicks like Bergman and, like
Lang and
Godard and all them type of people. And you can kind of see there's a little bit more influence of that in this, like the handheld stuff and everything.
Godard was very much hands-on.
And it's a lot more stylistic than Last House is. It's a lot more stylistic in terms of shot choices. I mean, you've just got to ask them, I guess, you know, on a budget like this, the director's got to be really important and really like, you know, I mean, because it's a lot of inexperienced people as well. I mean, he was lucky to get that crew, but because they've made some Roger Corman films. But I mean, they must just had to work really hard, you know, to get it done. And I mean, I wouldn't have noticed that the first 20 or 30 times I saw this film because I was just, you know,
shooting length, was it 30 days or do you know?
I don't know. I wouldn't imagine it was much longer than a month though.
Yeah.
I mean back in the day with $320,000. I mean, I do remember watching a commentary of it once on the old, I think it was probably an Anchor Bay release back in the day, the 2-disc one. And they said that like they only had one chance to blow the camper van up. So when the camper van was blown up, they knew that the shoot was over. You know, so they're trying to leave that till right at the end.
It's a wrap.
All right, but they didn't have. It can't have been any more than 40 days, like I would think.
Oh yeah, I was going to say a month, yeah, as well. 30 days, yeah.
But I mean, it was interesting as well to hearing like Wes Craven, because he was saying he had these, you know, really high kind of aspirations for himself as a director at this point, even at his second or third film. And he was making this with Peter Locke, the producer. Peter Locke was a friend of his who just said, I'm interested in movies. I want to produce a film. You did a successful horror movie. Do another one for me, We've got a little bit more money. And Craven was saying, I don't really want to do another horror. I don't want to end up being a horror guy. But he embraced it, obviously, because he had no other choice. Because he thought, okay, well, I may as well then. Because I'm not getting any other work. I may as well do it. So they did this, and they wrote it for the desert because Peter Locke's wife was performing in Las Vegas, and he said, write something for out there in the desert, and we'll go and shoot something in the desert. And they ended up shooting in, I can't remember what the place was now. Was it Pleasantville or somewhere it was called?
I have no clue.
All right.
Well, we can check.
But he said it was hard because it was the first time he'd had a producer breathing down his neck, because his other producer had been his friend, Sean S. Cunningham, on Last House. And he said this was the last time he ever kind of worked with a friend as producer because they didn't get along on set. Because he said Peter Locke was kind of always standing behind us saying, shoot, shoot, shoot. You've got to keep shooting. You've got to keep shooting. We'll have to get this. We're running out of money. You've got to. And he said it was hard, but from all reports, no matter what situation Craven was in, I've always heard actors talking about him as being really cool, laid back, kind of a more hippie-ish type guy. Not very, he never shouted, always very soft-spoken. Like we see him years later in New Nightmare. He's, for all intent and purposes, I think he was that nice, chilled out guy, but with a very dark side.
Mm.
And he was interested in creating those myths and legends that he taught when he was a teacher at college. He was teaching humanities and teaching the history and teaching grim fairy tales and all that kind of stuff. And I think later on you can really start to see that in more of his work. I think Wes Craven's New Nightmare really is like a grim fairy tale.
Yeah, a very meta one, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know what to make of it the first time I saw it. But then I took it as a kind of a Brechtian film.
Yes.
To use a theater term.
That's one of them I saw at the cinema, but I always thought of that as being him commenting on his career. Like you say, meta, that's kind of how I saw it. He was commenting on Freddy. And Freddy's not scary anymore, but the idea behind Freddy was what was scary.
Yeah.
And the idea behind Freddy was that, that there is myths, and he created a modern myth. He created a new bogeyman, didn't he?
Oh yeah, for sure. It scared me when I saw it first.
It's not Freddy that's the monster in New Nightmare. It's the idea of Freddy. It's the demon Freddy.
Yeah. Well, it shows like when Robert Englund plays himself.
Yeah.
And it's like
he's
got the glove and it's like.
I know, I love all that. And Robert Englund's like some cool hippie painter, isn't he? When they go to his house.
Yeah. And then when you see him, like when you see Craven himself, like as the janitor.
Yeah.
With the hat and the jumper. And
I love it. It's one of my favorites. I really like Freddy 1 and 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and Part 2, and then New Nightmare. I think they're my favorite 3.
I like 1, 2, 3, and then New Nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the franchise as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it gets silly.
It's a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
I remember watching Craven talk about Hills of Ice Part 2 that he did just purely for money, because he was really stuck. And I think it shows in Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you get so there's 5 films in the franchise, 1 kind of unofficially.
Oh, okay.
So you got Hills of Ice 1, what we're watching now, 77, Hills of Ice 2, Part 2, 85. Then there's the remakes in 2007 and 2011, I think, of Hills of Ice 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the kind of modern that had that kind of Platinum Dunes type look to them that those kind of movies had at the time. And then there's Jonathan Craven's Mind Ripper, which was also marketed as Hills of Ice 3.
Oh, okay.
But I always knew it as Mind Ripper because I'd bought the VHS. And I remember saying that, this is Wes Craven's son directing the movie. And then later on, I saw box sets of it being released, and it was Hills of Ice 1, 2, and 3. I thought, there's a Hills of Ice Part 3. I bought it, and it was Mind Ripper that just retitled Mind Ripper Hills of Ice 3. Because it's literally about a monster in the hills, but it's in a science. It's a really good film, Mind Ripper. I really rate it. I thought it was a really good film. But Michael Berryman, a great choice. And that unique.
X-Files?
He was in the X. He was. So was he in the circus episode? Is he in the circus episode?
No.
Where the guy's brother's on his side?
No, that's a different guy.
Who's the actor? He was in Ghost, that actor, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was also in...
he's a really good actor. He's got like... I think it's because they've both got those big foreheads. I got them mixed up. They've both got like huge heads.
He was in... I can't think of the actor's name, but I know who you mean, the guy with the beard and...
Yeah.
But no... I think he was in season 3 episode. It was Jesus. Kevin Zegers was in it as well. Oh,
I can't remember the episode
offhand.
I'll know when I watch it.
Well, we passed watching it. We watched it a few nights ago. So,
but he's perfect in Hills Have Eyes, Berryman. He really is. He was a really good choice. He's in Deadly Blessing as well for Craven later. But it's funny that Berryman. I remember watching him get interviewed at a convention.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about kind of the unique look that he's got. And it was because he was born with something like 26 defects. And I didn't know this until much later because I kind of followed Berryman's career. I watched him in a lot of horror movies. He's in a lot of really good movies, and he seems like a really cool human being when you see him get interviewed. I mean, like super cool guy.
And humble, yeah.
Yeah, like not like cool as in he's really appreciative of the fans and everything. He seems so cool. And because they've given him a career. And but he was talking about that his dad was let me check. It was so his father was a U.S. Navy neurosurgeon, and he was deployed to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, okay.
And he said that he thinks some of the radiation that his father was exposed to was part of why he was born with those birth defects.
Oh.
So it was kind of the fallout from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, that's just something I've heard him start to say recently in the last couple of years. I never heard him say that in like the older, like, I don't know, DVD special features we got in the 90s or 2000s. But I thought that was pretty interesting that he was saying that he thinks it might have been because his father was exposed to radiation at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Because he had to get, he's talked about it a lot. He had to get spaces put in his brain because he was born prematurely. And his skull hadn't developed, so they had to crack his skull and put spaces in his skull. So that's kind of how he's got that domed kind of head. And he was born without sweat glands, I think it was. So that's why he's got that kind of unique look with no hair.
X-Files episode was Revelations.
I'll have to watch it again. I bought the box set not long ago.
Yeah, it's episode 11 of season 3.
It's so harrowing watching the dad get burned alive. Legend has it, on set, they had to wait till there was no traffic or anything to do this because that's a Joshua tree and it's a protected tree. And they burnt the Joshua tree for real to make the film.
Hi, Leatherface.
Hey, Leatherface.
Welcome to the stream.
If you want to join in, we're watching Hills Have Eyes, 1977. It's linked below there in the chat. And we're up to 51... Be 52 minutes in now. All this stuff really freaked me out, man, when I was a kid watching this for the first time.
That beard freaks me out.
It's scary. I mean, it really was. I mean, like I say, I've seen it a lot over the years, so it's like it doesn't really freak us out as much anymore, but the performances are still so, like, harrowing. And I mean, this is the moment. This is like... I mean, obviously, we're just seeing this horrible scene of assault, but that's what I mean about the violence in this. It never feels gratuitous, even though this is a horrible scene and one of the most despicable things you can imagine happening that's happening now, especially because there's a kid involved, the baby that's going to get kidnapped soon, and they're attacking the girl. But it seems real because they're in that space and it's handheld camera and it's moving around. You know, it doesn't feel stylized. It feels like how you would be and how you would feel in a violent situation. And I think there's something to be said about that in terms of Wes Craven's filmmaking being so good. I was listening to Berryman, an interview earlier on today, doing some little bit of research, and he was saying nobody could make that baby cry. He said the baby was so lovely.
Aww.
And he said, like, That was the line.
Yeah.
Baby fat, you fat and juicy. That was a line that Wes Craven said when he was doing Vampire in Brooklyn. Eddie Murphy said back to him.
Bonsoir, Leverpacing. Ça va?
Alexandria's Yar.
That's him. He did the remake, yep.
Yes. And like we're saying, it's a really good remake. But for me, it lacked the power of the original, but it is a really good remake. It's up there with the best remakes. In fact, I did a video recently about the Crazies remake that Breck Eisner did, and it was the cinematographer from The Hills Have Eyes, 2007, who shot the Crazies, and his cinematography is great in both movies. I mean, the 2007 one, you really feel the heat in the desert, don't you? It's a really claustrophobic movie for it being in the desert.
I think the way that I know it's lens flare, isn't it?
Yes.
It makes it, really kind of imitates the sun and the heat from the sun.
There's a color grading at the time as well. They really kind of washed out the color. It still looks fantastic. I bought the Blu-ray of 1 and 2 recently, the remix of 2007, and I think it was 2011. And oh man, it's awful that with the dad. But that's what I mean about that.
That's acting.
That cold eye on the world. It's so horrible that. I mean, you're in a hopeless situation now, and he nails it with this Craven. And this isn't like Red Eye, later on in his career where she stabs him with a pen and sorts it out. It's not like that, this film at all. Even though they do try to kind of survive, it's a totally different kind of survival in this. I mean, she really fights for the kid here as well. And I still feel it watching her performance. She throws out the knife here as well. Oh, this is it, the mother. I mean, she's trying so hard. There are kids, man. Great accent. Well, it's I'm from the northeast, and Kerry's from Ireland in Kerry, County Kerry, Donegal. Yep. So Kerry's from Donegal in Ireland, and I'm from the northeast. Piranha 3D, yes.
You're actually talking about that in my last stream. Well, Piranha 2, I should say.
We talked about Piranha 2, the flying killers. But yeah, Piranha 3D. They were fun
apparently.
They were fun remakes of Piranha remix. I really like Gary O'Connell in that one. You really feel it, don't you? The screams.
Ah, Solitude. That's not fair. Of course it's a masterpiece.
What are you saying? Face. Don't mention Piranha. John will start ranting about Piranha 2. He thinks it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It is. It's a masterpiece. I'm getting like Jamie Lee Curtis when she was talking about Halloween Kills. It's a masterpiece.
Not like True Lies at all.
Did you see those interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis when she was talking about the new Halloweens? And she was like, the masterpieces. It was just like, okay. But yes.
She had to say that, though.
Yeah, I know.
David Gordon Green wouldn't give her money otherwise.
Very true. But I think, Piranha 2 is a masterpiece. That was a proper wheezy laugh. Did you hear that? Yep. Like Muttley.
Easy laugh.
You remember Muttley from Wacky Races? Oh, man.
Yeah, Muttley is my favorite character from the Wacky Races films or shows.
Oh, it's so horrible. His wife's dead now. He's just come back and his baby's gone. It's crazy. It's like I was saying, this is the moment. He's pushed too far now, this guy. It's like, I'm so glad you're here watching this with us. Usually I'd be freaking out by now if I was watching The Hills Have Eyes by myself.
You think I'm not? Why do you think my eyes are so bing?
I mean, these performances, do you agree with us? I think they're really great.
No, they are, because
no, I don't think there's one bad performance in this movie.
Well, as you said earlier, they had to fight for everything because they're hoping to make it their big break and all that. So, so you can tell.
Oh, the actors, yeah, they really did. They said they were really trying to make the best film they possibly could. Wacky Races Supreme. Definitely, Bill. Definitely.
I'll be Motley any day of the week. I don't mind. Lexi's definitely Dick Dastardly. Sans Tash. The twirling Tash. Sans that.
I mean, in this hopeless situation, what would you do now?
Run!
I mean, he's literally screaming, shouting into the darkness, why are you doing this? I mean, can you imagine me being a little kid watching this? It was like, and my dad thought, oh, that's a well-made horror film. I'll let my son watch that. Oh, so I've got some disagreements.
You do.
Not a masterpiece, just a guilty pleasure.
Well, I'll tell you what one of my guilty pleasures is.
Yes?
Well, Exorcist 2.
Exorcist 2, the John Borman Exorcist.
Yes.
The Heretic, or as William Friedkin calls it, the Hairy Tick.
The Hairy Tick, yeah, that's the one. No, I love that movie. Probably alone, but I don't care.
Dick Dastardly looks like a stoner.
He is a stoner. Why do you think
he is a
comes
stoner?
up with all the brilliant plans that it don't work? Catch that pager. Catch that pager.
Will we get copyright for that?
Well, I don't sing, so I doubt it very much. Stop that pigeon, or catch the pigeon, or stop it.
Catch the pigeon, I think. Catch the pigeon.
What do you mean? Solitude, wash your mouth. What do you mean?
Carrie, wash your mouth out.
What do you mean? Exorcist 2 is brilliant. It's a mind fuck, but it's brilliant.
Exorcist 2, no.
I once said about I had to recommend a film.
So this guy, the dog kills here is the producer, Peter Locke. I just wanted to get that in there, Gary. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's the producer who gets killed.
Somebody in college recommended Exorcist 2 and said Richard Burton is not on autopilot in that film.
So here comes one of the coolest dogs in movie history, Beast. I absolutely love Beast in this movie. But I think The Hills Have Eyes Part 2 might be one of the only movies that has a flashback from a dog's point of view.
Yeah, I think so too.
In the Hills Have Eyes Part 2, the dog has a flashback.
Exorcist 2 is not a patch on 1 and 3. Yeah, I would agree, Minty. I would agree. But guilty pleasures 2 for sure.
Well, as I see that, I'm just pouring myself. Because I think Exorcist 2 deserves another one.
As long as they didn't remake it. No, Exorcist 3 is really, really good.
It's a great franchise. I mean, it was
because of Ed Flanders.
I mean, if I like the franchise, if I really like the Dominion prequel, the one that Paul Schrader did.
Yeah.
I actually made a whole video on why that's a little bit misunderstood. Not that it's a good movie, because I don't think it is a good movie, but why it's interesting. There's some really interesting stuff in Dominion. It's a Western, if you watch it, with stuff in mind. And Skarsgård is a gunfighter, literally, in that film. He literally has a moment where he takes his robe off and puts his gun on, and that it's like, but it's a cross. It's actually interesting. But yeah, he did, didn't he? Burton did do a few horrors. He did. He did a great one called Absolution, and my favorite was the Medusa Touch. I absolutely love the Medusa Touch, where he's this total nutcase who's killing everybody with his mind. It's a really great film. Leatherface Exorcist 2, I don't care about fireflies creeping on my ass.
But they weren't fireflies, though. They were locusts.
Yeah, hairy ticks.
Hairy ticks, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
It's got its moments for me, because I'm actually a big Borman fan, and I think the moment when she stands on that balcony is absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I think there's some really cool moments of gore, like when Burton tries to walk across the spikes and he falls into the spikes.
Yes,
I think that's a really cool moment of gore. The ending kind of wrecks the whole thing for me, though.
Yeah. I think what they were hoping to achieve was that Pazuzu had gone in from Reagan in the first to Sharon in the second.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yep, I know what you mean. I agree, Timbo Bill as well. Burton was always Richard Burton. He's one of those guys like Sean Connery or Bruce Dern, or he's just always that guy. I mean, like he seemed super cool. I think he always. I know that in his personal life, he was a bit of an alcoholic, crazy guy, right, with him and Liz.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I don't think he ever. I don't think he ever really did a bad performance. I don't think. And in the end of his career, I know that he didn't want to do Exorcist 2 because he just done Medusa Touch. I remember seeing him. I remember
that was
before he got interviewed and he said he didn't want to do another one because he just done one. Another horror movie. I remember seeing him talk about it.
Good old Pazuzu.
Good old Pazuzu. I love him in The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, the part where he pretends to lose his job and starts fighting the corner shop guy.
That is a good show.
It is. It's a good show, and it's a really good movie, isn't it? That was John le Carre, right?
Yeah, John le Carre, yeah.
Came In From the Cold. Yeah, Burton did some excellent movies, man. He was always solid. He really was. Good old Pazuzu. Sorry, I missed that. I thought that was you saying that.
No.
Burton was a professional alcoholic and an actor second.
That's true. Actually, very true.
Professional thespian just covers all of that.
Yeah. Well, he got sober for 1984 and he died. So
did he? So no wonder he looked so good before he died. Then he'd lost loads of weight and that hadn't he in 1984.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, that could have been the fact he was dying then. But I do love his performance in that. It's pure evil.
Yes, O'Brien, yeah. What's your true feelings about Greg-brother? I hate him. You must love him.
Solitude, LOL, even when Sean Connery played an American, he always spoke with a Scottish accent. I know. I was just watching Russell Crowe today get interviewed, and Crowe was going to play the Ramirez part in Highlander in the remake.
Oh, okay.
So Russell Crowe was talking about it, and he said many years ago when they did, well, not many years ago, 2001, was it, when they did Ridley Scott and Gladiator?
2000, yeah.
2000. His Gladiator was supposed to be Spanish, right? He had Spanish blood in him with the Romans. And he practiced a Spanish accent for Ridley Scott. And Ridley Scott turned around and said, "No effing way are you speaking like that in my movie." So he said it was kind of like Antonio Banderas, but a little bit older, like more classic speaking. So apparently he's playing Ramirez in the Highlander and he's going to do it with a Spanish accent. Russell Crowe.
That's good. Because, like, as Solitude said, like, when he played in Indiana Jones and he was in Untouchables, the Scottish accent came through. And
he's just, I think, Where Eagles Dare as well, Timbo. Yep, amazing. I love Where Eagles Dare. I love the sidecar chase in that with the motorbikes, which I'm pretty sure is where we're speaking about Indiana Jones earlier on. I'm pretty sure that's where Spielberg took that from, Where Eagles Dare, when they have the sidecar race and sidecar chase, in Where Eagles Dare. It's great when they're coming down the mountain on those motorbikes. Aren't you entertained? What's it, Maximus Meridius Decimadeus?
Max Aurelius.
Max Aurelius.
I think so, yeah.
He kicked them all big time. He did.
Aren't you entertained?
Definitely. I've totally got like one eye on Hills Have Eyes. It's amazing. So he's literally eating the guy's arm now, spitting it at him and saying he's going to murder his kids. It's so flipping scary. But it was, I think it was Michael Berryman was saying, the actor Whitmore, when he was doing this, like, it was trying to stop himself from laughing because he thought the dialogue was so bad.
Well, it's not exactly what you want to hear, your brother say.
But yeah, so this is a bit that was influenced by Goya eating the arm. I mean, they're a pretty close family.
Oh yeah, they're a loving family.
You know you're in trouble when the gladiator in the arena is called Maximus. Yeah.
Is that the same as Big as Dickus?
That was amazing, that one is. That effect is so good of the burnt head. But now I can see it a little bit more. You know, when I was seeing there was another review was saying that they were kind of like more Native American type looking in their clothes. You can see it a little bit more when they're all together. But you would, wouldn't you? You would have like a nice skinned whatever you could find on your head, wouldn't you, to keep warm? You would just do whatever you could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this family are like. I don't know how that guy's got his permanent irons out there though to keep curling his hair, but the son in the background's got a pure curly perm. Look.
A family who eats together stays together.
Exactly. What's the matter? You don't like dog anymore? I love that so much. Good old Goya, sat and devouring the kids. That's it. We were talking about it earlier, Timbo. Craven was saying that that's what influenced the film and the family, especially that scene with him eating the guy's arm. He was trying to get that painting in the film somehow. Satin definitely wasn't a vegan.
No.
I mean, it was interesting when they did do a remake of this. And like I say, I think it was 2007, was that I was surprised to pick this film to remake because I found it so shocking to see. I was thinking how they're going to remake that, you know? I mean, there's no way they can do some of the stuff that's in this. And they did it, especially with the scenes of assault and things earlier on. They really went for it in the remake as well. And you have to give Aja credit for that. The director really went for it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there was no holding back. It wasn't a soft reboot. It was a full-on let's go for it.
It was a reimagining.
Yeah, it was a reimagining. And then Craven and his son, Jonathan Craven, came back and wrote the remake of Part 2 with the soldiers.
Oh.
So they actually wrote it. I think he had something to do with writing the remake as well in 2007, Craven. But I know him and his son wrote the Hills Have Eyes Part 2 remake.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I think Craven was probably just wanting to pay dues for making the terrible sequel. Hills Have Eyes Part 2.
That makes sense.
I mean, it has its moments. I do like the motorbikes, the guys on the motorbikes chasing through the rocks and stuff, because I like motorbikes. But that was the best thing about that movie, I think.
But, you know, I'm going to sound really facetious in saying this, but you know you've made it as a movie when Neighbours rips you off. Bouncer's Dream.
Did Neighbours rip off Hills Have Eyes?
I did. Bouncer's Dream.
That's crazy.
You're a bit too young to remember Bouncer, I think.
I don't know it. I don't know what the
Labrador pup.
Oh, all right.
And he had a dream.
Oh, Bouncer on Neighbours, the dog, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Ah, yes, I do know what you mean, man. Yes. The Labrador, the golden retriever.
Yeah, Labrador, yeah.
Yes, I remember what you mean, yes.
Excuse me.
So now they've got in touch with the Air Force. I think they're totally winding. They're totally winding them up.
That's Craven, isn't it? The voice.
Wait a minute, let's just turn it up.
No, it's not. No, I thought it was.
That's it, like, no hope of rescue. Absolutely love that shot of him laughing. I used it for the post to see whether anybody would be interested in watching the film. I love it when he's smiling with the mic. But that's another thing with Craven, isn't it? The scene with Dario Argento, there's loads of animals in his films. Like Deadly Blessing, you've got the snake that gets in the bath and you've got the snake at the end of this that kills. Well, it helps kill the main bad guy in the end. You've got the kind of dogs and stuff later on, and the werewolves in Cursed, and I mean, a lot of it plays. Is there any in Scream? I don't know. Does Sydney ever get a dog in Scream?
Don't think so.
What do you think of Scream? I mean, I always thought that was kind of the end of it. I always thought the end of his career was like the most unoriginal part of his career.
No, I never got into them, so.
I do like the franchise. I do, I have to say. I love Scream 1, 2, and 3. But for me, earlier on in his career, with Last House, with Hills Have Eyes, with Deadly Blessing, with Swamp Thing, there's more to talk about than there is in Scream.
Okay.
I just think they were more interesting, perhaps because he was working on smaller budgets and he was having to be a little bit more creative. Because I don't think Scream's anywhere near as interesting or as good as Hills Have Eyes.
Oh God, no. I don't think so either.
But I do appreciate that whole kind of meta thing that Kevin Williamson put in it. About kind of the well, it's about the kids who watch the movies, right? That's what Scream's about. It's about the audience of slasher movies.
Hmm.
Why do you think talent such as Craven, Carpenter, etc., was able to develop in the 70s and 80s? We see these days, I hardly see any talent in movies. May sound a bit harsh. I know what you mean. But they were a different generation. I think they were a different generation creatively because they weren't doing this. I think actually Carpenter was doing it to be a famous director. He wanted to be a famous director. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But Craven was kind of a hippie, more artist type of a character. I really think he was. And I think the sensibilities of the time are different, Solitude. I think, I mean, now you get like the YouTube kids doing Bring Her Back and the YouTube brothers, I should say, the two brothers, right, who did Bring Her Back and talk to her. So that's kind of the way horror is going. It's more spectacle than it was, and I think there's less ideas behind it.
Yeah, I think myself, I agree with you, more creative, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think also because of budgets.
Oh yeah, definitely. Budgets are a big part.
Like especially like Carpenter had a very limited budget on a lot of his early work.
Well, like I say, Halloween and this were made for the same money, same budgets, pretty much.
And both successful.
Yeah. This was really
Halloween
gruesome. I remember thinking this was so gruesome the first time I saw it with his moccasins on.
Don't kill the doggo.
But I think it's definitely the fault of time as well. I mean, you know, Carpenter and Craven and all these guys were jumping on top of the, especially Craven, in this case, was influenced by the new wave. You know, it was a different time for films. I think there was a lot more creativity back then.
Yeah, the Hollywood new wave, yeah.
And it allowed people to develop a lot more than now. So, for example, the filmmakers I just mentioned, I think it's the Felipe brothers. I think that's what they're called. Like, I always forget the name. But they were able to make their movies because they were big YouTubers already. You know, they didn't come from nowhere like Craven did. It's like today. God, that's so gruesome. But like the audiences today, or filmmakers, creatives today, I mean, it's the same in music, I think. Like musicians today will get signed off the back of them already having 500,000 subscribers on their music channel. You know, Warner Brothers Music will look, oh, they've got 500,000 subscribers. We know that they've got 500,000 people who will download our record. You know, Felipe Brothers, if that's what they're called, who I think it is, to Bring Her Back and talk to her, already had an audience. There was already an audience for their films. So that's kind of the way horror gets made today. You get people, I think I've talked about this before, which I think build on horror that came before them. So like Julian Toctanu, who did Raw, and also the director of Revenge. And she did a great film as well after Revenge. I can't remember, but they're building on body horror thing before them, like Cronenberg. So today we're living a time that's influenced by a lot of other stuff too. It really is, and there's so much more now than was around when Craven was making The Hills Have Eyes. You know, I mean, there's got to be 20 or 30, 50 wrong turns, you know, or films that are kind of inspired by this kind of movie that Craven made. But this was a Craven original in the 70s. And he was allowed to make this because of the creativity of the time, not because he had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know,
yeah.
And now we're getting Chris Stuckman making Shelby Oaks because there was an audience already there for his film. You know, people are thinking, oh, it's great that Chris Stuckman's been able to make this film, and it is a brilliant way that he's done it. But he was only able to make that because he'd built up a following of 1.6 million subs or 2 million subs on YouTube. That's the only reason Flanagan and that Neon Pictures even looked at him. Whereas Craven did this off his own back with his friend, 90 grand, because they really wanted to do it, you know? Not because I think Craven probably knew there was a market for it because of Last House on the Left, and he knew that it was going to go on the Grindhouse circuit. So it's really interesting. It is. It's really interesting. I mean,
I also agree with what Timbo Bill's
just said. Less willingness to take risks in the mainstream commercial film space. It's all about the dollar in, dollar out. Totally. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about now. And I mean, obviously, Craven was doing this because he wanted to make money out and get a career, but he also had this kind of artistic drive to him that I think came from him being a child of the 60s, that I think Romero had, that I think Carpenter had. I think they wanted to be artists in a way. Do you know what I mean? And that sounds pretentious as hell. I know it does, but I think that's the difference. They're not about 500,000 likes. They're not about that. They were about, let's make a movie like what we loved, you know? I remember Denver Hill and Carpenter always saying we're a bunch of kids making Halloween. It was like, let's put a show on. Let's make a movie. You know, it wasn't about, okay, how cool can we make this look? It was, how can we make this at all? Do you know what I mean? Whereas now it's a lot more about how cool can we make this look? How wide can the audience appeal be? How many demographics can we hit? You know? It's so gruesome.
And I think as well, passion as well is a big thing.
Yes.
You know, Carpenter and Craven definitely had passion, and you know, other directors as well at the time. But nowadays it's, as you know, as you say, like money, you know, it's, you know, in, out, dollar in, dollar out, whatever. And you get the subscribers who, you know, guaranteed to watch. Now, I'll be honest with you, last night I did put on Shelby Oaks.
Yeah.
To see what it's like. And
I'm definitely going to watch it.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep. And not because it was, you know, terrible. It's mainly because I was tired.
Yeah.
But what I've watched, and I thought, yeah, it's not too bad. You know, it's not a bad film. But as you say, you know, Neon would not have taken the
Exactly. And I think that's maybe, there's a great thing I love from like Greyline Entirely, John. Yep. It's like there's a quote from Christopher Lee I absolutely love, right? And I think it sums up the different generation that he came from, like the different generation that I don't know, Polanski came from, or Craven came from, or any of those directors came from, right? Different generation. He said that I had to work to be Christopher Lee. I worked in theater. I did bit parts. I worked for 30 years before I was ever a lead man, you know, or 20 years, sorry, before I was ever a lead man in like Dracula and Frankenstein. You know, I worked, so that when I got to 70 years old and people were coming up to us and saying, okay, there's a part for you in Sleepy Hollow. There's a part for you in Lord of the Rings. There's a part for you with Count Dooku, you know, because he's a good actor. And he was saying, I pity these younger generations of actors because when they get to my age, they're not going to have the acting chops to be getting the parts that I'm getting. Their career is going to be over by the time they're 30 or 40 because they're not going to have the good looks anymore, you know, and they can't act. So they're not going to be able to carry on.
Same with talent shows.
Yeah.
Like X Factor and all that, because like they don't prepare the artists for failure.
Yeah.
Or like a bad album, you know, or sales or whatever. It's like rushed out. There you go. 5 years later, then nobody's heard of them.
Yeah. I really hope that, I really wish the filmmakers today, I liked films today, don't get us wrong, but I just see a lot more in this than I ever would see in, I've talked about Weapons a lot lately because I saw it, and for me, that was just an empty movie. It looked okay, but it was it was just an empty movie for me. I didn't see anything in it that inspired me to do anything. Whereas I bet The Hills Have Eyes has inspired 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 filmmakers to go out and make a movie. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Weapons would ever do that. Maybe Talk to Her would, because it's by people who have worked to get this and work so they can make films, but it's also people who already had 1 million subscribers
Yeah.
Who were doing this because they had the money to do it. Do you know what I mean? That's how the marketplace. That's how the marketplace has changed so much. And that's where the marketplace is going. I don't think we will get any more Carpenters or Cravens. I really don't. I don't think there'll be any more. I really don't. But there will be flash in the pans every now and again. You know, like I love Sean Baker, for example. I really like Florida Project. He did Tangerine before that. But he'd been working 20 years, 30 years before that to get to the point of Tangerine. That's why Sean Baker's a good modern filmmaker. Kelly Reichardt's another one of my favorite, who's just done... oh man, the one about the bank heist. I can't remember what it's called now. But she did Old Joy. She did River of Grass. She did Certain Women. You know, she did all these movies to get to the point where she is now. It took her 30 years. So that's why she's a good director. Guys like Chris Stuckman are not going to be good directors yet. And I'm not even sure they're going to hang around. Do you know what I mean?
I think, Stuckman's a critic, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And he probably trying to emulate Godard in that way, because Godard was a critic. And Truffaut,
Yeah, Dario Argento too.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Send in with a link in it, and you give it a watch when the movie is ended. And give your comments. Sorry, Kerry, I don't have your email address. You can get it from Cinema Conversations, Kerry. Is your contacts on there?
I can give you any email address, but that's okay. John, you can forward on to me.
All right, cool.
The link onto me, so when you get it.
Cool, I look forward to it. Cheers, Solitude. So Long Legs last night. Do you know what it is? Timbo Bill, it's all right. It looks good. I feel the same way about that I felt about Weapons. I did like the fact that they've given Nicolas Cage that kind of out there license to do that out there performance. But for me, that's the only thing that stood out in the film. It was okay, but it looked like... I thought it looked like every other film I've seen in the past. It looked like Smile. I thought it looked the same as Smile.
Yeah, I suppose in that way it is, because it is a modern horror.
Yes. But what it did have going for it, I think, was that Nicolas Cage performance. Because that was the only thing that anybody really talked about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's because it's Nicolas Cage and he's going to do something, because he always does. Even if he's in a 10 Pence movie, Nicolas Cage does something. He always does. That's what I like about that guy. He might be terrible, but he always takes chances, and that's what keeps us interested in him. So, yep, I didn't like it, I have to say, Bill. But I did think it was a good-looking movie. I did. But for me, there's a million good-looking movies now that aren't very good.
There you go.
But I'd like to give this a shout out. So that's directed by Osgood Perkins, who is Anthony Perkins' son, if I remember rightly.
Oh, okay.
And one of his earlier films, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, is breathtakingly good. It was a Netflix original. I remember watching it and thinking, I'm going to watch this filmmaker, and I did. I kind of watched what he did recently, the Stephen King film. Which I didn't like, funnily enough, which was the one about the monkey. Man, what was it called? The monkey was the same monkey off the front cover of Monkey Shines. The poster, the one with the drum.
The monkey, yeah.
The monkey.
That's what it's called, yeah.
That's what it's called, the monkey.
Yes. Yeah, symbols.
Yeah, what did you think, Timbo? Did you think it was good? I mean, I did think it was good looking, I have to see. But Carrie, you thought it was good.
I did actually, yeah. It was a different kind of horror.
Yeah.
And I do agree. Cage did kind of like go full Cage.
I liked him in it. I thought he was the best thing about it. There was like one creepy moment, I think, when she was in the house and she thought somebody was outside watching her. I think that was the only moment I thought was creepy. But that I get them mixed up, because there was a moment in Smile where she's in the same glass house and somebody comes in that house and sits down and smiles at her. And it was exactly the same scare, exactly the same setup as I'd seen in Smile a week before.
I always get that and Black Phone mixed up.
I am a fan of the Black Phone, funnily enough. I'm a big fan of Scott Derrickson. So there we go. That's when they knew the movie was over, when they blew the trailer up. But I'm a big Scott Derrickson fan. Timbo, you thought Cage let the film down? Well, he does. He does often. I thought he was the best thing about it, personally. But I know he's very much like I don't know, what do you call it? he's never been consistent. He's always been either totally knocking the ball out the park, or he's been doing something I totally didn't like. So I understand what you mean. I don't agree. I thought he was great in it, but I know exactly what you mean. He is very hit and miss. I was a big fan of him because of the Red Rock Western stuff in the early days. I thought he was great, Cage, especially Face Off and Con Air. I love those movies. That kind of made him a superstar again. She's finally getting her revenge now in the Hills of Eyes. A hatchet in the back. But I mean, it was weird. I mean, the performance of Cage was weird. I have to say, it was obviously weird.
I have to agree. Yeah, Cage was good in 8mm. That is a creepy ass film. Yeah, and he is the grandson of Coppola, Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, Coppola, whatever.
In fact, it wasn't his name. It was Nick Coppola, right? He changed it to Cage because he didn't want to be known as Coppola's nephew.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, I think he's the cousin of George Clooney as well, I think.
Well, let us know what you think about The Hills of Eyes, everyone. that's we're almost at the end.
I'm looking forward to the prequel.
All right.
The Hills of Ears. No, joking aside, it's a good movie. I enjoy it.
I absolutely love it, as I'm sure everybody could tell. I think it's a fantastic.
No, that's not obvious at all.
Also with Dee Wallace. I mean, it was Dee Wallace's breakout movie too. Russ Grieve. We certainly did grieve for Russ.
Bucktooth McGraw.
What did everybody reckon in the chat? Did you like it? Had you seen it before? I have loved rambling on about Wes Craven. Like, I really do like that director. I think he's fantastic. The end.
Is it? Is it the end?
Is it the end?
Is it really?
Well, like I say, it was a franchise.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a sequel, a remake of the sequel, or a reimagining of the sequel. And then there was one that's not officially canon, but I really recommend Mind Ripper. I think it's a really good film. It's got Lance Henriksen in too. It's got a really good cast. John Dale's in there too. But it always freaked us out, Hills of Eyes. Always did. And I look on those movies fonder than I look at Scream, than I look at Red Eye or any of his later work. I mean, he did direct Meryl Streep in a pretty good movie, Music from the Heart. There was a true story about a violin player in New York who was a teacher. And because Scream was such a big success, kind of the Weinstein said to him at Miramax, do a sequel to Scream, and then you can direct any film you like. So he did Scream 2, and he directed a drama, which was the only drama he ever really directed in his heyday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was a success because I didn't see it at the cinema. I actually saw it on video, on DVD, actually, the Music of the Heart. So I didn't see that when it came out.
Never even heard of it.
It's good. It's a really good movie. It's about a teacher, kind of. I guess it was it's a true story about a violin teacher who taught in the Bronx. I think it was. It's Madonna was originally cast. Okay. And then Meryl Streep ended up playing the Madonna part because Madonna dropped out. It's an interesting film, but there's no way he would have ever gone to do that if it wasn't for the success of Scream. It was the Scream success, and I think that was the only kind of time he ever really brushed out of the horror genre other than doing the Thriller or Red Eye. But yeah, any other fans in the comments? In the chat section of Craven? Because I think he's a master.
Craven for some comments, people, come on.
I do think he's a master. I do. But I mean, we don't have to keep talking about The Hills of Eyes. We can talk about whatever he's like. But do let us know if you enjoyed it. I mean, I really do put that up there with Chainsaw Massacre. I put it up there with Halloween. You know, I put it up there with all those kind of iconic horror movies at that time period. I think it's as good as any of those. I really do. Maybe not as technically proficient as something like, say, Halloween, because I think it's really technically proficient Halloween, because Carpenter went to film school and knew exactly what he was doing and knew what the light should go and knew where the shot should go, whereas Hills Have Eyes was a little bit more run and gun than something like Halloween was.
Yeah, kind of guerrilla filmmaking to an extent.
I've always felt that way about Craven's beginnings. I think he's more guerrilla than Hooper or Carpenter. Because, I mean, Chainsaw Massacre is so well thought out. It's a really well-made film. You've got beautiful imagery in there, you know, especially the shot that goes under the swing. They've got all that really good thought-out stuff. You've got the sunset with Leatherface at the end that everybody remembers, you know, when that film ends. You've got the shot from the back of the truck, you know, with Sally. You've got it's a really well-made film, Chainsaw Massacre. It doesn't feel like it's the second film of a film school graduate. It feels like it's a film by a professional director. I mean, Hooper kind of peaked really early on, didn't he? I think. But I am a big Hooper fan too.
Yeah.
But Hills Have Eyes just seems, and especially Last House, seems a little bit more run and gun than those other films do. But I think it works in their favor because it makes them different.
Yeah, different stylized and kind of more. What was the word?
I think it's more real. I think Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, I was going to say realistic again. Fully. Yeah.
Even than Chainsaw Massacre, because Chainsaw Massacre has its really realistic, gritty moments.
Yes, it does.
But for example, there's no blood in Chainsaw Massacre, so in that way, it's not realistic at all. But and the violence does seem stylized. I think a lot in Chainsaw Massacre.
Like I think it's more like a nightmare.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
I would see that
like
too.
Like actual.
I can see that.
You know,
or the bit when, for example, the girl's in the freezer case. And she comes out and she's still kind of half alive, or is it the nerves making her twitch? And she comes out and you've got that beautiful soundtrack that's on there, and that all seems a lot more stylized than anything in Hills Have Eyes. And for that reason, I think it doesn't seem as realistic. And that's what I mean about, when does violence get gratuitous? It's a really interesting question, that, because for me, like I said earlier on, it's not gratuitous, the violence in this. It's real violence. It's not trying to be gratuitous. It's not trying to be too shocking or too over the top. It's just how it would be, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Solitude's asking for you to watch the link.
All right, sorry, I was totally missing the chat there. I didn't scroll down.
Is it on YouTube, Solitude? Before you start watching it, John?
Give me a sec. I'll grab the link from my emails.
If it is, you can share the screen, John. So.
Sec, Solitude. All right, pause. Right, I know the clip you mean. All right, so I'm totally new to this. What will I do to share the screen?
Put it in the private chat and I'll share it if you want.
Hey, I've got it up here. We can stick it on.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe this film is nearly 100 years old, which makes you wonder, how did they pull off this visual effect?
You're right, Mr. Morgan.
In the 1937 film, Shh, the Octopus, actress Elspeth Dudgeon plays the kindly nanny, who is later revealed to be the villainous octopus in disguise. To create this seamless transformation, filmmakers used a clever optical trick. A red filter was placed over the camera lens to make all red elements invisible. When the filter was removed, those red painted areas suddenly appeared, transforming her face into something monstrous.
You're right, Mr. Morgan.
The effect worked perfectly because the movie was shot in black and white. The hidden red tones blended into her normal appearance until the filter was lifted, revealing eerie shadows and contours that gave her a terrifying witch-like look. It's hard to believe this.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I have seen it, yes.
All right.
So the clip, yeah.
I mean, it's great. It is. The classical style of filmmaking is great. It is. I mean, it was, and it's interesting that people had to think a lot more back then as well before CGI. I mean, you do have to think about CGI. I mean, I remember watching the making of Lord of the Rings, for example, when they were doing Gollum and all the great work the actor actually did. You still do have to think now. But it is creativity. That's right. It is. It's really,
yes.
It is. It's really good creativity. It's like, I mean, to me, you can see that in other movies too, especially in filmmakers who are influenced by the period, classical period of filmmaking. There's a great shot, one of my favorites in Halloween, where Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, she sees her friend's dead, and then she goes and stands against a wall. And then you just slowly see Michael Myers' face fade up behind her. And it was just done so simply. Dean Cundey just put a light on a dimmer, pointed it at his face, and then turned the light up so the white became more and more visible on the camera. And it was like, it's those kind of tricks that are always the best ones, never mind the CGI, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody ever said at any point there when we're watching Hills Have Eyes, did it look fake or does it look dated? Because it doesn't. It still looks great. And it's because they were using practical effects. When Dale Wallace gets shot in the stomach, it looks like she gets shot in the stomach. Do you know what I mean? It really does. And I mean, that's one argument, I think, for CG and modern effects that sometimes it doesn't look right. Like when they did the Thing prequel, it just looked awful. You know, because you were looking at a film that was kind of the pinnacle of practical special effects. And then you go and try and do something, and we're not at the pinnacle of CGI yet.
No.
I think we're getting there with AI, because I think AI is going to create some amazing stuff soon. I really do, because I'm starting to already see it do face replacement so easily, you know, and things like that. And
I picked up this issue of Sight and Sound.
Yes.
Yesterday. Oh, sorry, Thursday. And they had a small little article about how there's an AI actor now.
Yes, I did read that too. The girl there with the young girl with the black hair.
Yeah, the Dutch comedian.
Yeah.
The studio, AI actor studio. So they was thinking of doing that with the Final Fantasy film.
Yeah.
They did in 2001, I think it was.
I really liked that. I thought it was great. I liked the Resident Evil one better. They did a Resident Evil one called Regeneration that I thought was great as well.
Yeah. Didn't look as good, in my opinion.
It didn't. The Final Fantasy one did look better. But yeah. I'm a massive zombie freak, so I loved Regeneration.
Hey, Iris!
Hey, Iris! Right. So we got
like and subscribe to my channel. Not this one. My channel.
Yeah, I know. Well, apparently the story is behind that is they did it with practical effects. They did the Thing prequel with practical effects. And then the producer said it doesn't look good enough, and they replaced them all with CGI. It was on this is all secondhand, though. I actually found this out on Red Letter Media. One of the guys on Red Letter Media does special effects for a living. And some of his friends were working on the film at the time, and they said that's what happened with the movie. They actually did them all practical, Timbo, and then they replaced them with stupid CGI. It would have been so much better, that film, if it was practical. It really would have been. John, very late to this watch along.
Well, it's over.
Well, we've just finished watching The Hills Have Eyes. We did watch the 1977 Wes Craven one. And I don't know if everybody enjoyed it, because nobody said anything when I asked everybody if they did.
Sacrilege! That's like a stick in the heart there.
But we've had a good evening, haven't we? All right, thanks for joining us, Iris. Much appreciated.
Yes, good to see you again, as I said.
All right. So I don't know what's left to talk about.
Seen it before, been a while.
Been a while, yeah.
Well, John's like, yourself, like, what he's like.
Well, it was so funny. I mean, it could be, I don't know, it could be how much I'm drinking lately. I don't know. But I totally forget things now. But back in the day, I could remember every character's name, every flipping cinematographer, every musician. I was happening to look everybody up during the stream to find the actresses and stuff. And I don't know.
It's called getting old, John.
I know, but it is one of my favorites. It really is. And I hope anybody that watches the stream, either tonight who joins us or afterwards, checks it out if they haven't seen it, because it's a masterpiece. I'd like to do more Craven, I think. Watch alongs. I really do like Craven's movies. I remember seeing People Under the Stairs, and that being mind-blowingly good as well.
That's a bleak film.
I think his worldly outlook is pretty. I mean, from what Wes Craven says in interviews, he doesn't seem like he's the happiest guy in the world. I think he's a very serious fellow.
Yeah, we mentioned that, Iris. Bouncer's Dream.
I was talking about that earlier on. Bouncer's Dream. Oh, geez, Solitude. You liked it. Excellent. Bill, speaking of the Thing. And Longlegs, I think Robo-Team was involved in Longlegs. I didn't know that, actually. But no, I didn't know that about Robo-Team. I do know he was involved in Piranha 1 very briefly. he did the effects on Keenan Wynn's legs, and he did one of the float. I'm a big Bo-Team fan. I love the fog. I love RoboCop, especially. I think RoboCop's brilliant work. It really is.
That would be good watch now.
But I Bouncer's Dream, Iris. Kerry had to tell us what Bouncer's Dream was. But it's got to be. So The Hills Have Eyes Part 2 inspired Neighbours.
Yep.
That's incredible.
See the Neighbours. Who would have thunk it?
I mean, there's no other movie, right, where an animal has a flashback, or we even see, like, from an animal's memory. There can't be.
Well, from point of view, there's Good Boy, which came out this year, but
Good Boy. I bet that was inspired by this.
Well, it's inspired by Neighbours.
Good Boy was inspired by Neighbours. Oh, yeah. But Beauty and the Beast, I mean, they were two. I loved them in this film. I mean, it's great. That's one of the great things about Hills Have Eyes. Beast actually gets revenge because his mate gets killed. I mean, that's the dog goes in the mountains to kill the family because he wants to get revenge. It's really cool, that. I think. Good horror as well as good science fiction always explores philosophical matters. I agree. I like the good ones. I think the good ones always do. I was just talking about Poltergeist there on the stream, not the stream, on the channel. And it was like, I wanted to look at a different way to look at it. I really did. I wanted to look at the philosophical side of it and how you could look at it philosophically. Yes, Iris. It is. It's thanks for noticing. The hitchhiker poster behind us. Yeah, it is. It's the, I don't know if I can turn it up a little bit more. So that's the, I don't think I can move my camera any closer, but that's the bus stop poster from the UK. He came from hell. Don't ask him where he wants to go. I just loved that artwork. It was my favorite artwork. And The Hitch is one of my favorite films, Iris. Always has been. Back since the videos, early days of VHS. It's always been one of my favorite movies. Howard's always been one of my favorite actors. And it was, it cost us a lot, that. But that was one of the poster ads, bus stop ads in the UK. That's how I got it. It was in really good condition as well. The quality on the bus stop ads used to be a little bit different. It's more like it's like really thick printing paper, so it lasted really well. So that's an original from the year 86, 87. I think it must have been 87 the UK release, so it'll be from 87. But it was an original. I got a certificate of authentication with it because I did pay quite a bit for it. But I wanted it because I love that artwork. And there's so much other artwork for the film that you get, and that it's not as good as that one. That's the best artwork, Rutger Hauer's eyes. Because you get the kind of, there's a silhouette of him with the kind of cool shotgun that he has at the end, which was okay, but it wasn't really the best poster. But that one, I loved it. Yeah, I collect them. I've got a few back there. But yeah, that's one of I love it. Thanks for noticing. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I'd love to do a Hitch or watch along, actually. It's one of my favorite films.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. It's just such an underrated director. Where you from? Answer, Disneyland. That's so good, isn't it? What's your name? John. Ryder. Just like, you just know from the second he gets in the car. He's fucking...
It's going to be a long ride.
I know. But it's so good, though. It's one of the best openings ever. Eric Red, who wrote that, is a very underrated filmmaker. He did 100 Feet with Famke Jensen, Conan Tate, with Roy Scheider and Baldwin. So many great films. He was very underrated. He wrote Near Dark with Catherine Bigelow. He was one of the writers on that. He's a really good writer. And the director, Harmon, on The Hit Show was just, he really hit the flip, and he got John Seale to be his cinematographer, and together it was just a team. I think and that whole great score was Mark Isham's first score. And he was already an incredible, well, anyway, if we have a Hitcher stream, I guess we can talk more about it. But I'm in love with that movie. I think it's we talked about grim fairy tales earlier on, like in Wes's later work, Wes Craven with New Nightmare. Hitch is like the best grim fairy tale ever put on screen, I think. I really do. I love that. Disneyland. But I think he's one of the best movie villains, John Ryder. I mean, like, just the fact that he snuck in and put the finger in his chips. And he does all that really cool stuff just to get to him. But it's like, like I say, I'm a big Rutger Hauer fan. I read Hauer's book, All Those Moments, that he wrote about his career. And he said that John Ryder, he said, what I thought with John Ryder is that he wanted to die, but he couldn't commit suicide. And he says he was just killing all these people, wanting someone to stop him. And when he met, what's he called, Hall? When he kicked him out the car, he knew that this was a guy that was going to kill him. And he just wanted to pass on some of his worldly wisdom to him before he lets him kill him. And he lets him kill him. It's like, it's so good. It's just a brilliant, brilliant movie. I think Hauer's a master. I don't think he gets credit, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he really was. I mean, that performance for me is like Oscar worthy. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen, in my humble opinion.
I'm going to throw out a weird one, but Lady Hawk for me too.
Oh, Richard Donner, right? Lady Hawk, Michelle Pfeiffer, and really cool. Richard Donner's a great director. I really love Superman and The Omen. I really like Lethal Weapon. I think it's this might be sacrilege, but I think it's better than Die Hard. I really love Lethal Weapon. I think it's great. I love the craziness of it.
It's definitely better, I think, funnier than Die Hard.
We're gonna need to write that book, John. The films that influenced the Solitude. I mean, most of the films like Hills Have Eyes, right? I mean, this is just me talking after a couple of whiskeys now, but a lot of the films I like are films that happen. They don't happen by accident. They happen because they get the right people. So The Hitcher had this great photographer as its director. He was a great photographer. He wanted to make films. So he made a short film called China Lake to see if he could direct, and he could. China Lake won some awards, got some buzz. You got Eric Red, who was already writing. He wrote Near Dark, you know. He was already a good writer. You get Mark Isham, who's already a famous musician. Get him on board. John Searle, who's a great cinematographer. You get these people and put them together, and you get something like Hitcher. Same with Hills Have Eyes. You get somebody who's worked Saracen, who's worked with Roger Corman. You get him together, put him with Wes Craven. He's had more experience than Craven. It's like, it's not a happy accident. All these people are good at what they do, you know? I think that's where a lot of the best films come from. People who really know what they're doing. Like Tobe Hooper, for all we were just praising Chainsaw Massacre to the hilt. You've got these people like Bob Burns, who was a production designer, who was a good production designer. He really knew what he was doing with all those bones. And Hooper, I mean, there's so many great interviews about Chainsaw Massacre that he really burnt himself out because he was working with students. So he really had to tell everybody what to do. You know, Hooper had to say, this is where the camera's going. This is where the sound's going. He had a total vision for it. It wasn't an accident that it looked that way. He really intended it to look that way. He wasn't just putting the camera anywhere willy-nilly. And I really think that's where the best movies come from. They do. I mean, like, by the time Romero got to Day of the Dead, Creepshow, and Night Riders, he worked with that team for 10 years. Those films didn't happen by accident, you know?
Yep.
Dawn of the Dead's cinematography didn't look good by accident. Gornick really knew what he was doing. He'd been editing, shooting for years, you know? And these films seem like they're independent films that come out of nowhere, but they don't. These are really good teams of people who know exactly what they're meant to be doing. And for me, that's when it gets fun. I love finding out these things. I love digging into John Sayles' past, who shot Hitcher. I found out he'd been working in Australia on films like Soul Survivor. And the cinematography in Hitcher doesn't happen by accident. It's really, really beautiful because he was working with a director who was a photographer. They both understood photography, and they made this beautiful looking movie, you know? It's none of it happens by accident. It's all people who know exactly what they're doing. And that's, for me, that's when it gets fun. I really like digging into all that, finding out how these things happened. And that's why I wanted to talk about The Hills Have Eyes, because I think it's a masterpiece of Craven's early career. I know a lot of people like Last House, but I think for me, with Hills Have Eyes, that's when you see real Craven being born, the director Craven being born, I think, because it's such a well-directed movie. It really is. Sorry if you heard that burp. That just burped while I was talking. But it's such a well-directed
movie.
You need
your microphone a bit more. So people can hear you burp.
But yeah, it's been fantastic. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about? I'd love to keep going if you want to keep going. But Kerry, are you happy to keep going? Or do you want to? All right. So tell us some film news then, Kerry. What film news have you got lately? So I know you've got so you've got a performance coming out when next week?
Well, the premiere is supposed to be next Saturday.
Next Saturday,
supposedly. I've only got a bit part, but I play the sister of the protagonist / antagonist.
Is the premiere going online? Can we watch it live?
Yep. I assume so.
Well, the film's called In the Dark Woods, right?
No, it's In the Woods.
It's in the woods, right? It's in the woods. We'll watch the trailer on the last stream on Cinema Conversations.
Yes. And
that's coming out next week.
All being well, yeah.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
And I have double interest because my wife, she has done the score for it, so
fantastic.
So
I've got so me personally, I'm working on a documentary at the minute about bridges. So I got a job for the council here working renovating the old bridges. So I'm doing some documentaries about bridges. I'm not sure if I'll be able to release them on the Boneyard because there's a paywall on the Boneyard. You have to pay 99 pence, but you can watch a few of my movies if you pay 99p and become a member on the channel. So films I've made over the years that aren't affected by copyright. But I'm also thinking of getting in touch. I used to work with people who suffered with PTSD, serving personnel from the military. I did 3 films over 2 years about PTSD. And I've been thinking about asking the director if I can put those up behind the paywall on the Boneyard for people to see, because they're available online on the director's own website. But I was the editor, so I can't just put them up willy-nilly. But I've been thinking I might ask if I can put those up on the paywall on the Boneyard because I'd love people to see them. I'd love to talk about them. You know, it was 2 years of my life every day. I didn't have a day off for 2 years. I'd love people to see those movies if they can. The new movies are with the council about the bridges being renovated, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to upload them, but I hope I can. But I've been digging through the archives as well. The films I've made over the years, there's some really bad ones. but I was thinking I might put them up just for prosperity, so when I die, they'll be up there somewhere.
I'd neither.
So she's asking, will it be up on your channel, Kerry?
No, I don't think so, but I'll try to get it on my channel.
It will be on Kieran's, though, right? Who we've spoke to on Cinema Conversations.
Yes, it will be on his because he's the director.
So Kieran is Kiosta. If you head over to Cinema Conversation Solitude, where we do the streams as well, there'll be a link to Kiosta's channel there, right, Kerry? Where it might be as well.
I'll just double check actually.
All right. Because I know that me and Kiosta have talked about wrestling a lot on his channel as well. So we've and I know that he talk about wrestling on his channel a lot as well, doesn't he, Kiosta? And have a look at his collection.
Oh yeah, he's mad into wrestling, yeah.
Yep. So I remember I was a big Hulk Hogan fan, and we were talking about that for ages.
Okay, let's see. How do I
Amsterdam? Yes, but a while ago I did watch Amsterdam. Is that the recent one, Christian Bale, or the horror? Because there's 2. There's an old slasher called Amsterdam as well. But if you mean the Christian Bale one, yes, I did watch it, and I thought it was pretty good. It reminded us of a Russell film. I thought it was a pretty good film. If that's the one you're referring to, Solitude. But I've been thinking, I've made so many documentaries over the years that I've got saved because I always saved a backup of the films I'd edited, and I worked as an editor I have worked as an editor for 12 years on other people's projects. And I always wonder if it's okay for us to put those up on the Boneyard for people to see, because I used to use them when I was teaching, showing them to the students so they could see what I'd done. And they never had problems with that because obviously I always get in touch with them just in case. But I'll see if I can put some more work up on the Boneyard as well. It might be interesting to have some streams and talk about the work that we've done, Kerry.
Yeah.
Talk about our film work.
Well, To be honest, I used to do a lot of short films with friends of mine.
Yep.
And then I was supposed to do a Batman fan movie, where I played Oracle.
Cool. That would have been cool.
It's like Barbara Gordon. And then I was also supposed to be in a Doctor Who fan movie.
Yes.
Where I played one of the villains. But they didn't turn out to be, well, they were written, but they weren't filmed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got a wee bit disillusioned with acting, and other things took precedent. But then I got more into, the theatre side of things.
Oh, cool.
And I was writing a lot of, kind of adapting local stories. And then after that, COVID happened, and after that, my dad passed away, and then we moved down here.
I'm interested in that. I am interested in telling not local people stories, but people I know stories.
Yeah, that's what I was doing here.
I really like the drama of real life. I mean, that's another reason why I like people like Craven, because they would turn in the camera on the friends often, and it's and it was Hills of Eyes is the situation that we're in, as we mentioned during the stream. It was like you can really see that there's a reality in there. There is some real terror in that film, I think, with the spiders and stuff. I don't think they were acting at points. And I like that. There's a great quote from Werner Herzog, when he says that it's like an imagined reality. He says all the time we're shooting reality, we always are. So even when you're recording a performance, you're recording history, you're recording a moment in time. So you're documenting a performance. I also thought that was a really interesting way to look at it. So I haven't seen it then, Solitude. No, I haven't seen that Dutch movie. I'll check it out. But yeah, the Bale movie was good. I like David O. Russell too. I love his early stuff, like Spank and the Monkey, and and what was the Flirting with Disaster? He did. I like his earlier movies a lot, and I love Three Kings. That doesn't get talked about enough. I think it's one of George Clooney's best performances, and I'm a big Ice Cube fan. So like music wise, so I followed Ice Cube into film because I loved Ice Cube, and I think Ice Cube's one of his best performances is obviously Friday, but he doesn't get enough credit for the performance that Ice Cube gave in Three Kings. It's a great, great film. And I think
he's also in the second X-Files movie as well.
Yes, he was. And I think it's because he was working with Russell that it was so good. I think Russell's a good director.
To answer your question, Solitude, what I'm going to do is I can see if we can stream next Saturday. And if it does go live, I'll share it on the channel, kind of share the screen so we can watch it that way.
Cool.
I'm not sure yet because I tried to add the channel, Kieran's channel, to my list of channels, but I don't know how you do it now. They must have changed things on YouTube. So,
well, I mean, both of us will definitely share links anyway when it goes live.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, I will be. I've been sharing it on Facebook and stuff when it's been. I mean, I'm not like into Facebook. That made it sound like a really old fogey there, didn't it? But I've been sharing it on Facebook. But I really do use Facebook still. It's like it's one of the only social medias I check now, to be honest, because I went off Twitter because it got so flipping out of my. It started to feel like a bit of a cesspool, so I kind of stopped.
Same as that.
So I kind of stopped using X, Twitter. But I still do post stuff on Facebook. I have been to try and recommend Kieran's new film. But
Kieran did a film a couple of years, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, called Walls of Blood.
Oh, that's a really good name.
Yeah, it was because do you see Derry, where we were at the time?
Yep.
It's because it's a walled city, and it was a vampire / horror film, and I was supposed to play a cop in it, but my scene got corrupted in the recording of it. So, and then he promised me a kind of a role in a kind of a Christmas movie he was doing, which kind of like he likes to shoot indoors a lot.
I'm Christmas movie obsessed. I would watch it.
Yeah,
Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. I get a lot of stick for this. It was like I remember last year I went to CEX and bought it must have been about 20 Christmas films, like when you get like 3 for $1 now and there.
Jeez.
I mean, I was buying like stuff with Rob Lowe, like the Christmas shoes and just whatever, you know.
Wow.
Just bought whatever. And I popped in the pub for a pint on the way home. Everyone's like, "What do you bought?" I was like, "Oh, I've got some Christmas films to watch this year." Everyone's just like, "Are you nuts? These all look awful." I was like, "I bet every one of them is going to be fantastic." I absolutely love Christmas movies.
Well, since we're not quite near Christmas yet, but one of my favorite Christmas movies is Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, it's all I love both of them. I like the original and the Richard Attenborough remake. I think they're both really good.
Yeah,
and it was the actress from Matilda, right, in the remake.
That's right. Yep,
playing the kid. The original was I really should know this because he's in trouble with Harry Forsyth, right? John Forsyth playing Santa Claus in the original.
Yeah.
Aye. It was really great. It's both of them. Christmas films, I love so many, it's impossible for us to say. There's a one I love called The Noel Diary with James Remar playing the dad of and him and his son kind of meet back up with each other. It's a modern one. This is from 2023, but it was absolutely brilliant. And every now and again, because you get a lot of actors now who are kind of not retirement age, but like 50s, 60s, 70s, you get like Danny Glover popping up in The Christmas Train. You know, because they're doing like TV movies and things now. It's the kind of tail end of their career, and there's so many great performances in these Christmas films. It's a time of year that I love to discover new films, Christmas, because it's like fertile ground. Every year there's always like 500 because everyone's trying to get you to watch their channel.
That's right. Yeah.
I think it's an exciting time of the year for movies. I loved, Fred Olen Ray, who did like Frankenhooker and things, and he directed Scalps. Which I really like early on. He did so many great movies. He didn't direct Frankenhooker. I think he was a producer on it. It was Frank Hottenmeyer, I think, who directed Frankenhooker. But he was involved with all these great films, kind of low-budget horrors. And he does a lot of great Christmas films, like for Hallmark and things. Fred Olen Ray, you'd be surprised, but some of his Christmas films are fantastic and they're worth looking up if, like me, you're a fan of Christmas films. Any thoughts on Ken Russell movies? Excuse me for a second. I need to go to the toilet. But I've got a lot to say.
I can answer some of that for you then.
I've got a lot to say about Ken Russell movies. I fucking love Ken Russell movies.
Okay, you go to the toilet. I'll give my take on Ken Russell.
I'll see in a sec.
Okay, for me, I love Altered States. I find it a very, very, very trippy movie. Obviously, because it's the content of it is isolation chamber or echo chamber, whatever it's called, and how the effects are just so esoteric and surreal, and the story is actually pretty good. And then the very end when it evolves, which is creepy as fuck in my opinion. The Devils, I'd rather see the full version of it. And we know we'll never get to see the full version, but yeah, The Devils is pretty good. Oliver Reed is awesome in it. And definitely, actually, Oliver Reed's great in everything, nearly, he's done, to be honest with you. But no, The Devils is pretty good. And I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, the Tommy musical with The Who. That's actually, he plays a small part in that as the uncle. And I'd recommend that if you haven't seen it, as another Ken Russell directed movie. But Russell was a good director in his day, for sure. Minty, Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Yeah, it's more of a Thanksgiving movie, but I love it myself too because it's the story of it again. It's part, John Hughes who wrote the story, and it's very it's funny, very funny, but it's sad. John Candy's character, you don't realize he is actually, it's kind of like you feel sympathy for him, but then you realize, he's got such a brave face. He's putting on, he says he hasn't seen his wife because he's been working, and then you realize his wife's passed, and that's why he hasn't been home. And then Steve Martin is brilliant in it, and as well takes him into the house and introduces him to his family, and it's Over to you, John.
I'm listening.
And you're taking Ken Russell.
All right, Altered States as well. Altered States is a masterpiece. Kerry, just quickly recap what you said.
No, I just said it's visually very stunning, and it's esoteric, and it's in the deprivation chamber, in the isolation chamber, whatever it's called.
It's visually fantastic. It is, isn't it? It's not one of my favorite Ken Russell films.
Okay,
but visually stunning. I think it's great.
I like the end when he's devolving.
He's very underrated. I mean, every performance in that is fantastic. Was it Carlos Rambaldi who did the special effects?
Yeah,
the guy who did E.T. and all that, and Possession, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a great Christmas film. It is. Timbo, I love Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. I think it's one of John Candy's better. I mean, every performance Candy gave was pretty great, right? I mean, Uncle Buck's my favorite, but Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, that especially the ending, man. I wonder what was in the trunk. I do. I always wondered what was in his trunk because he shows him, doesn't he? But we never see. The Devils is amazing. It is. So Derek Jarman did the set design for the Devils, who was a great, great, great British filmmaker. And the Devils, every performance is fantastic. I've still never seen the uncut version of the Devils because I'm not sure if it's been released.
It hasn't been, no.
But I got into that when I was a younger film fan because of Mark Kermode, and he was a massive fan of the Devils. I was already I've actually brought something up to show Ken Russell. I grabbed it when I was downstairs there. But Ken Russell's one film in particular, totally affected my life. It affected my life. It was one of the films that made me think, whoa, you can actually do this. You can make films in a different way. It doesn't have to be like this. In the same way something like Hills Have Eyes did, Ken Russell affected my life. He really did. Sorry, I wasn't putting it because I was away. Good point, Gary. Did you say this from Solitude? I believe Kermode went above and beyond to put director's cut of the Devils together. He did. I went to see it, Solitude. He did a screening at the South Bank here in London, and I went to see a cut that he'd put together. This was a good couple of years ago, though. Maybe it's a decade ago. But I went to see it in London at the South Bank with Kermode giving an introduction to it. Ken Russell's, in my opinion, one of the best of British directors. He was so effing fearless. And we don't get many filmmakers like that. I think Craven was like that with The Hills Have Eyes and Last House. And that's why I respect him as much as Carpenter or Ken Russell. I respect Ken Russell as much as any of these other directors. I really do. But my favorite, there's a story, Russell, at the end of his life, couldn't collect the money to make a new movie, but he kept making them in the garden. Yep. Apparently he made them with a mailman, Solitude. I think Kermode was in a couple because Kermode stayed friends with him. And but there's this film. I can't see it because of the name, I don't think. But this movie, I was so over the moon when this got an imprint release because, in my opinion, this isn't just a good film. It's one of the most underrated and under-discussed films ever made. It's like he took the premise of Alfie and just put Teresa Russell in this film. And I remember watching this as a younger film fan on British TV. I didn't see this at the cinemas. I saw this on TV. And for many, many years, all I could get was like a German release of this. And then finally, Imprint, this Australian company, did this Blu-ray. And everybody should run out and buy it. It inspired me so much, this film. In the best possible way, like the way that Night of the Living Dead inspired us to think, maybe I can do this, maybe I can make a movie. Horror did the same. It is an incredible film. He shoots LA in this film like no other director I've ever seen, Solitude. It's breathtakingly great. It really is. Teresa Russell's performance in it is unbelievably good. There is some toilet humor in it, like people being sick on each other. So I will warn you if you want to watch it. Because she's with this abusive husband and he's sick on her when he's drunk. But man, you have to deal with scenes of she's a lady of the night, so she deals with Johns and stuff throughout the film. But the way that she walks through LA at night and just talks to the camera and talks to us, it felt like Belle de Jour. It's that good. It really is. It's that good. I can't recommend it enough. It was the... So this is the movie, Solitude. This is the one that redefined my life. It really is. It's one of those, and I'm not lying when I say it. I've had a few whiskeys, but I really mean it. I saw this on TV late at night one night, Horror by Ken Russell, starring Teresa Russell. And it was like mind-blowingly just opened my brain. I thought, I can make movies where people talk to the camera. I don't have to do it like, Alfred Hitchcock did. I can do it like this. It is a magnificent piece of filmmaking. And in my opinion, the best Ken Russell film. I think it is mind-blowingly good. Can't recommend it enough.
Good cast out here. I'm just looking here on Wikipedia.
Oh man, you've got Antonio Vargas from Starsky and Hutch. You've got who else pops up in it? John Dale, right? John Dale pops up in it. It's
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. It's a really great film. It really is. It's just a movie that, I mean, there's never been another movie like it. I did a video about Life Force a couple of days ago on Boneyard Cinema, talking about how original that film is, how original Hooper's film Life Force is. Whole is the same. There's no other film like it. It just takes a few things, like Alfie, like talking to the camera, and just transforms it into something so cool and interesting. And it's, obviously there's a lot of sex in the film because it's about a lady of the night, but it's really, really stylized and beautiful. And Teresa Russell's performance is so natural. It's, it blew my mind. It's one of those films that I fell in love with Teresa Russell because of it. Not because of the way she looked, because I thought, I've never seen an actress this good before. She's so good in the movie. And
just on that note, I want to ask somebody or ask people, if you're interested, or say to people, if you're interested in that movie and want to buy it, it's on Amazon for a grand total of €569. So about £500.
That copy that I have, the imprint one.
Yes, yeah.
If I'll do it for 50 quid. I'm just kidding.
I'll just show you. It's like,
well, this was imprint. This is a release off. This is off 19. This was off not long ago. My God.
There you go.
My goodness. I'm sure you can get it cheaper than that. You must be able to.
Yeah, I would say so.
Aye.
Amazing, crazy price, like.
But it's worth finding. It's worth 10 times that. This film is worth 10 times that price tag. It was like when I bought the German DVD release. I remember because the VHS was even rare because this was toward the end of Russell's fame. This was like 91. This was after Listomania. This was after all the D.H. Lawrence films. This was like when he was. His kind of popularity was starting to wane a bit. But my goodness, it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it. It's a film that changed my life. It really is. And that sounds crazy, I know, but it is. And it was his direction that just, it was, there's no one else directs like Ken Russell. There's nobody else acts like Ken Russell. He gives a great performance in John le Carré's, the Fred Schwepsky version of The Russia House that Sean Connery and Michelle Pfeiffer did. And, the great German actor from, I can't remember his name, Klaus. He was in Out of Africa with Meryl Streep, plays Meryl Streep's husband in the beginning. Great actor anyway. But Ken Russell was just so brilliant. When he was brilliant, he nails it. And this is as an actor, not a director in The Russia House. And he's so good in The Russia House.
Klaus Maria Brandauer,
that's the guy. But he played a Bond bad guy, I think, in Never Say Never Again. But The Russia House, Fred Schwepsky, Ken Russell's in it as an actor, and he's just mind-blowingly good. He's in a scene with Sean Connery, and you're watching Ken Russell, not Sean Connery. He's that interesting. He really is. But I'll stop talking about him now because I'll blah 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 a bit because I love him that much. And that move, sorry, I know. Like I say, I'm making everybody.
No, not that.
But please, Solitude. See if you can find it online or something. Check it out because if you like Ken Russell, it's a masterpiece. And I don't mean that in the way that Piranha 2 is a masterpiece. I mean this film really is a masterpiece. As you mentioned, Hitchcock, I recently read about the reason why Hitchcock's later movies weren't as good as his earlier work because he started to believe what was written about him. I'm not sure I agree because I really like Torn Curtain. I think Torn Curtain's a really brilliant film. And that was his latest 65 movie, I think, with Paul Newman and Julie Andrews. And I really like Topaz too, Solitude. I think Topaz is a bit of a masterpiece. There's not in the way that No, none of them were. The other films are masterpieces. But there's a bit when John Vernon kills his wife, and the shot goes to above, and she falls down, and he didn't want to put blood on the screen, so her dress just moves out like a pool of blood around her. It's magnificent. So I'm not sure I agree that Hitchcock's later work's not as good as his earlier work. I really like his later work. In fact, I think The Birds is one of his better films.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite Hitchcock films are, I have to say, Jamaica Inn and Lady Vanishes, which are some of his later British and first American films. So they're in the 30s. I think they're two of his best films. But I think Torn Curtains...
I think Lady Vanishes was 41, I think.
41. It's a brilliant... It was one of his last British films. I know it was one of his last British films, Lady Vanishes.
Oh, right. No, Jamaica Inn was 39 or 38.
39. So Rebecca was with Selznick. That was his first American movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll have been the 42 then, I guess?
41, 42, I think, yeah.
But I can imagine Hitchcock having a massive ego, though, Solitude. I really can. I mean, Kerry, he probably did have a huge... Right?
Oh, yeah,
he must have had a huge ego. He must have.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. Look, put it this way. Like, he put himself into his movies and, cameos. And also, like, he didn't win an Oscar for Rear Window, Vertigo, or North by Northwest.
He never won, ever, did he?
So, he did kind of like probably felt a bit disillusioned.
He got an honorary Oscar, and that was the one where he just really famously turned up right and said thank you and walked off the stage.
Yeah.
He literally just walked up.
I think he was pissed, literally, pissed off. I mean, because, like, to do your best work and not get recognized by your peers.
I can imagine him having a big ego. I can imagine it. I really can. I mean, the guy was. Well, I mean, famously, right? Tippi Hedren turned him down, and he kind of messed a career up, right?
Well, did you ever see Hitchcock the movie?
Yep.
With Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I like the other one better. The girl with Toby Jones. It came out at the same time, but Hitchcock. Yeah, that was the one with Janet Leigh, played by Scarlett Johansson, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, I remember watching that one at the cinema because I'm a proper hit. As you are too. I think I'm a Hitchcock diehard. I mean, I watch Hitchcock's films religiously. I really do, and as much as Craven or Carpenter, I watch his films religiously. I mean, Rope, I think, is one of the masterpieces of all time.
Yeah, it's like it is a stage play, even in a film form.
Oh, totally.
So
Find Solitude, stuff to say, philosophy, etc. He started to put ideas in his films and stop telling stories. Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That makes sense. It does. I can see that. I really can. Vertigo is a masterpiece.
Especially in like The Birds.
Totally, but I love The Birds. I mean, I used to use it. I used to use it in teaching. The scene where they're in the diner.
Yeah,
and she looks out the window, and it cuts to her reaction. Then it cuts to the fire moving along the floor, then cuts back to her reaction, and it's jump cuts. So you don't see a move, but a face moves from here to here to here during the cuts, and it's perfect direction, perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. The jump cut in on her face when she's sitting outside of the school and she realizes the birds are there. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's perfect. I think The Birds is a perfect movie. I really do.
Even at the very, near the very beginning when she's, picks up the lovebirds,
Oh, it's great.
And she goes to the island.
Aye. The scene in the car with the birds fucking go from side to side when she's going around the bends. You see the two birds,
like she's on a mission, you could say.
Totally. I mean, Vertigo is a masterpiece. It is.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And it's so crazy to think that was shelved for 30 years because nobody liked it. It's like The Thing. It got totally murdered from the reviews. And then I think it was Scorsese did the remaster in like 1994 or something. I mean, it was that. I mean, De Palma remade it with Paul Schrader as Obsession with Cliff Robertson and John Lithgow. And Julianne. I've had too many beers now. Genevieve Bujold in Obsession. I mean, it's an incredible work of art, Vertigo, but it's a masterpiece. But I love The Birds. I just think The Birds is a perfect movie. I really do. It's one of those movies I think is perfect. But it's just not my favorite. My favorites are some of the earlier ones. Jamaica Inn, Lady Vanishes. I really like Lifeboat 2. Which he made just off his own back because he was under such a horrible contract with David O. Selznick. David O. Selznick, the guy that made, Gone with the Wind, could see that Hitchcock was getting more famous than he was. And he kept Hitchcock under contract. Funnily enough, like Hitchcock later did to Tippi Hedren, kept Hitchcock under contract so he couldn't make movies unless Selznick loaned him out to other companies. He was like loaning Hitchcock out, only at his behest, at his say-so.
Well, my favorite would be Spellbound.
Oh, Spellbound's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful film. It's so darkly beautiful, though.
Yeah. And again, it's like a nightmare, but you have the dream.
Oh, the whole film.
That itself is just art.
The whole film is about, repressing the fact you murdered someone by accident. It's awful, awful film, that Salvador Dali dream sequence. I mean, Hitchcock was always good at that. What I was just saying before about Wes Craven picking the, good team for Hills Have Eyes, Harmon picking a good team for The Hitcher. He picked what he needed. He thought, I need a dream sequence. Who's the best dream guy? I'll get that Salvador Dali. He'll probably be good at this. Do you know what I mean? It's like he picked the right people. And it is magnificent, that dream sequence. It really is magnificent. And that's
like a work hard on his own.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why I stick up for Dominion Exorcist. There's a scene that Paul Schrader did in Dominion that's a total reference to Spellbound. It's a reference to Salvador Dali's work in Spellbound. And it's interesting. I mean, if anyone's interested out there, watch the video I did on Dominion, because it talks about how inspired by other films that film is. And it's a filmmaker playing and having fun. And that's I think that's what Hitchcock was doing in Spellbound, man. He was like, I mean, I would have loved to have worked with Salvador Dali and did that. That's incredible. Can you imagine? Maybe I should try that mustache next, do the twisting up on the sides.
Well, I'll try to be Louise Bunyan-Eldon.
But Hitchcock, I mean, for me, it's as questionable as his moral ethics as a human being were, because from now we're knowing more and more that he wasn't a very nice guy. I mean, him and his wife were together for years. He had a great daughter with Patricia Hitchcock, but who's a beautiful woman. I love the way she talks about her time. I love his daughter, Pat Hitchcock. I think she's incredible, the way she kind of kept his legacy going, but also the fact that it was about the work. It wasn't about him. It's so cool. It's so interesting. But, I mean, he's the best, man. He was the best. I mean, one of my favorite directors is William Friedkin, of the studio directors, because he was a studio director. Literally he wasn't like Craven. He was a studio director, And he said he met Hitchcock once, and Hitchcock said, "Why are you not wearing a tie?" It was a total different generation, He was working on one of the Alfred Hitchcock hours, and Hitchcock said, "Why are you not wearing a tie?" That was like the thing that Hitchcock said to.
Yeah, different school.
I said to him, but. He also said, all you have to do is watch Hitchcock films if you want to learn how to make films. I mean, really. I mean, and that's coming from the director of Cruising, French Connection, Sorcerer. This is coming from To Live and Die in L.A., William Friedkin. And he's saying all you have to do is watch Hitchcock films if you want to learn how to make films. And I agree. And I used to use Hitchcock a lot in teaching because there's a lot written about him too. And there's a lot to dissect, but I would also use people like Craven. I would also show films like Hills Have Eyes, and I would also show films like Halloween, and say, this is what we can do with what we learn, Whereas guys like Friedkin and Hitchcock, I mean, they're a different breed of directors. They were trained from day one to be what they became.
Well, Hitchcock started in theater, so
he started actually doing the cards for silent films. So he was actually the artist doing the cards.
Oh, yeah, that's always in theater. Okay.
No, he did. Yes, he did, Kerry, too. Yes, he did. But in film, he would do the cards.
Okay.
So like when you'd get the cards in between saying, what's happening now in silent films? And you get the dialogue, he started doing that.
Okay.
And then they sent him to UFA Studios because he said he wanted to become a director, and he trained with like Fritz Lang and that one. I mean, he learned from some of the best people in the world, Hitchcock. I spent a lot of my life studying Hitchcock's work because there's a reason why his films don't look like anybody else's, because he understood the technique of film totally, but he also had his own original stamp, which is very rare. He was a technician who had a totally original stamp. He was a perfect technician, but he also had a perfect creative ability to create stuff that we'd never seen before.
And don't forget, he directed the first Irish film.
Juno and the Peacock.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you remembered.
I remembered, yes. Did you watch Rebecca remake? No. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, sorry. I did watch the Rebecca remake with that guy from Wounds. I thought he was really good as Maximilian. What the hell's the actor's name? I remembered him from Wounds because I was really impressed.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
It's he was really good, man. I thought it was okay. I mean, not great by any means, but it was like a decent TV movie. Solitude. I thought it was a good TV movie version of Rebecca. I'm gonna have to find the dude's name, because I thought he was good in it. He got into loads of trouble because he said he was a cannibal in real life in the press. Give it a sec. I'll find it. Army Hammer. Lily James, Kristen Scott Thomas as Mrs. Danvers, of course. Yes, it was a decent film. I like Wheatley. I think we're talking about this, right? I really hated the Meg, but I do like Wheatley. I do. But yeah, it was okay. Solitude. I thought it was okay. I did like Army Hammer as Maximilian, and that's saying a lot considering it was Laurence Olivier playing Maximilian in the original.
Yes,
it's saying a lot. He did do a decent performance. And if you liked Army Hammer and Rebecca, I recommend a little independent film he did called Wounds. It's a horror film. It's a bit of a knockout. It's based on a novel that was really cool, a short story. It was, even though he was a very questionable guy, he did an interview with Piers Morgan recently that was pretty damning. I don't think he's it's not that he's not a nice guy. He's just, he lives a different life, He's very rich and he can do what he wants, and he's done some questionable things, shall we say. A bit like a lot what's in the press at the moment. I think he hasn't been involved in anything that bad, but he's been involved in things. He might like things that are a little bit kinky, and he kind of got kicked out of the spotlight because of it. But his performance in Rebecca was great, and check out Wounds if you like his performance in Rebecca, because Wounds is really, really good. And I love Wheatley. I just didn't like Meg 2. Timbo, I love freaking films. I know, me too, Bill, man. He's so good, isn't he? There's not many directors who are better, technically. Like Sorcerer or French Connection, man. I love, he did a one with Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones, The Hunted, which I think is a magnificent piece of filmmaking. I remember watching it in the cinema and I was like, it was just so fantastic. It was almost like The Fugitive. It was about a guy who military guy had trained this dude. The dude went on a killing spree and he had to go and stop him. And Tommy Lee Jones is a good guy. Benicio del Toro was a bad guy, and they fight each other like out in these wild places, like top of waterfalls and shit. But man, it was such a great movie. Great movie.
Definitely not like The Fugitive.
Oh no, I like The Fugitive too. It's Andy, the director. I really like the director of The Fugitive. Actually, he did a film called The Package with Gene Hackman, and he also did some of the Steven Seagal movies. It's Andy, somebody or other, the director, but he's really good. He did Code of Silence with Chuck Norris, which is great. And I think that's how he came onto The Fugitive. But is it Andy Serkis? Man, I can't remember anything now. But no, I love freaking too. Massive inspiration, especially French Connection. If it was French Connection, Bill, it made me want to go.
Andrew Davis, is that him?
That's him, Andrew Davis. What did I call him? Andrew Serkis?
Andy
Serkis, Andrew Davis. That's him. That's the guy. Really good action director. Really good. He did some of the I think it was Out for Justice with Steven Seagal, and he did Code of Silence and The Package.
Yeah,
really good.
Wikipedia.
But yeah, freaking's unreal, man. But The Hunted, I really like, and I love Rules of Engagement. Friedkin did with Samuel L. Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones, where they kind of get put on trial for like war crimes. And Samuel L. is like this really cool, like explosive sergeant in it. And he's in Yemen and he shoots on a crowd. And they say the crowd's unarmed and he has to be defended in court. And Tommy Lee Jones comes back to defend him in the old Nam buddies. It's such a great movie. Freakin's really cool, man. He always picked really cool stories. Cruisin's evil too. It's like Cruisin's like one of the best horror movie thrillers. It's a proper horror movie. It's a slasher. When you watch Cruising, people are getting slashed like left, right, and center, literally stabbed in the back. And it's a really cool slasher movie, Cruising, I think. I mean, he's a great director. Just great. Watch Friends as a kid. Me too, Solitude. The scene in the office when he comes in and strangles her. You're my kind of woman. And she really fights back. It was watching that as a kid was so harrowing. The woman who gets Blaney's ex-wife. She gives the marriage advice. And the woman who plays the receptionist too was so like annoying because she's looking in at all the business, but she should have been because she gives the police the clue. Frenzy's great. I mean, that's what I mean. When people say Hitchcock's later films aren't as good as his earlier films, Frenzy's kick ass. It really is. And John Finch is really good on that. He really is. That bit with the grapes, man, when he and Barry Finch is the is it John Finch and Barry Finch? Is it John Firth and Barry Finch? I can never remember the names of the actors.
Hang on. Let me check.
But I mean, they're great, so great. I mean, Bob Rusk, and that bit when the cop comes in and catches him. I used to remember all the names of the actors, but the guy comes back in. You're not wearing your tie, okay, Mr. Rusk. It's so dark. It's so darkly humorous.
The cast.
I think it's Barry Fiennes and John Finch. I think that's who it is.
I thought it was the cast in this, but it doesn't. Oh well.
But I do love Frenzy Solitude. I think it's his. I like it much better than Family Plot. Even though Family Plot's got a great cast, William Devane, Karen Black, and Bruce Dern. I didn't think it was more like an Alfred Hitchcock hour than it was an Alfred Hitchcock film. I thought Ray Armie Hammer. I like Final Portrait a lot. About the sculptor Giacometti. Yes, it was good. I thought he was good. Solitude. It's all that stuff that happened to him. I'm not sure whether it was just because we were opening up stars' personal lives a little bit too much in the media. He's obviously likes things that other people don't like, but I'm not sure that there was a reason for his personal life to be dragged through the mud, and it did ruin his career. I mean, I always look back to when I was a kid, Freddie Starr. Freddie Starr was like a big entertainer on the television. And when all this stuff was happening, when people's names like Savile, for example, and then his name was brought out, and then people were saying that the lead singer of the who played with the Shadows, what was his name? We're all going on a summer holiday. Cliff Richard.
Cliff Richard, yeah.
So his name was kind of dragged to the mud, and even though it was all kicked out of court, you know, the press never really said, "Oh no, Cliff Richard was innocent." Then those people who were obviously guilty, like obviously Savile and Gary Glitter, but then Freddie Starr's name also got dragged into it, and it turned out that Freddie Starr was innocent, and it ruined his life. I mean, it was like ruined his life so badly. And he's someone I often think about when we're thinking about these performers whose names are getting, you know, not dragged to the mud for no good reason, because it's all for a good reason. It is for a good reason, you know. But sometimes I think we'll look too far into people's personal lives, and I don't know, that Armie Hammer thing, I don't think he was really going to eat anybody. I think he was just a bit of a drunken sexual pervert, but it wasn't, I don't think it was hurting anybody. Do you know what I mean? It was just, he's got some perversions. Do you know what I mean? But that's the line. You know, what line where does your moral line get drawn? All that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't have been brought out. I'm saying I think it should have been brought out, but I'm not sure that people let him explain himself enough. But I mean, what do I know? All I'm saying is, I shouldn't have said all that, actually. But Armie Hammer was great in Wounds. And it was great.
Okay, we'll leave it like that. Yes. That's the end of the version.
I don't want to get into a political thing. It's not political, is it? It's personal. Maybe that's what I'm saying. It's too personal.
Yeah.
John Finch was amazing. Polanski's Macbeth. Yes, definitely. Definitely. I love Finch. I love Polanski's Macbeth. I think my favorite Macbeth's the Orson Welles one. I really love Welles' Macbeth. But I really like the witches in Polanski's Macbeth on the beach at the beginning. It's so like grimy and horror. That's all. I mean, that was the first film he made after his wife was killed. So I guess he really had something to maybe get out of his system there with that one.
Yeah, he that's like kind of why.
Same for Woody Allen. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's where do you draw the line? I mean, but it's obvious. I mean, it's horrible to speak about because I'm a huge Woody Allen fan. I mean, huge. I wouldn't be me if I'd never watched Woody Allen's films. I really wouldn't. I mean, his films like September or Hannah and Her Sisters, you know, some of these films are like I was talking about Ken Russell. Some of them films were really, I saw in my informative years, radio days, you know, really changed my view. Polanski's the same. Polanski did a film called Bitter Moon. I would not be me if I'd never seen that film. But he's a criminal, Polanski, you know, and it's been proven.
Whereas before separating the art from the artist.
So. Exactly, but Polanski's a criminal, and it was proven that he was, that he did what he said he did. The witnesses said he did what he did. He's a criminal, and he deserves to be punished for what he did, 100%. You should not, go slack on him because he's an artist or anything. He deserves. No. But whereas people like Woody Allen, that was kicked out of court
because he's a celebrity.
But because he'd been so unusual, and I mean, he's Sun Yi's stepdaughter, right? I mean, that is not right, but it's not against the law in terms of how we speak about the law. It's a horrible thing to think, because obviously me and you would never do anything like that, because it's not right. But it's not against the law, and it's like you say, separating the art from the artist is weird, because it's I think they're all wrong, and they should never have done this in the first place. Armie Hammer shouldn't have done that in the first place. Woody Allen shouldn't have done that in the first place. Do you know what I mean? They shouldn't have. But it's all been proven and kicked out of courts, or it's been proved and they've done jail time or whatever's been done. But it is funny. It's a funny conversation separating art from artists. It really is. Yeah, Love and Death is a masterpiece. It is. I think a lot of Woody Allen's work is fantastic. Solitude. He's a very unique filmmaker. He really is. But he is a very unusual man. And he's made some very peculiar choices, which I see is wrong, but they're not wrong in the eyes of the law. So it's like, where do you separate the art from the artist? And I do separate the art from the artist. I always have done. Gary's out of the conversation now.
No, I'm just
like I'm John's digging a hole for himself. I'm away. I'm out.
Yeah. No, I don't know if we're are we going to watch the second movie, or what are we doing, or what's?
I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, watch your second one if you want. Or do you want to call it a night? It's totally up to you.
I am yawning a bit, so probably might leave it for the night then.
Do you want to go? Let's do another 10 minutes, and then we'll finish.
Yeah, we'll go for 3 hours, and then
let's go with 3 hours, and then we'll finish. So all that very questionable stuff aside,
yes.
But it's a debate. It is. I mean, it's all a debate to have. I think that's worth having. I really do.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, we know they've done it. We know what happened and stuff.
Exactly.
But we're raising awareness of things like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you think like Polanski, what he did, and then he emigrated to France to get away from the court.
Like I say, I have to reiterate what I've just said. Polanski, in my eyes, is a criminal.
Yes. No, 100% agree.
I think he deserves to go to jail for what he did.
Yes.
I really believe that. His films did change my life. Bit of Moon did change my life. I saw that at a very the right age for that to inspire us, to make me want to do things. I saw Tess at that age. I love Tess. But he's a criminal and deserves to go to jail. He really does. He's wrong. That was totally wrong what he did in every sense, morally, criminally. I can't see, no matter what situation you're in, he was in a horrible situation. His wife had been murdered. He was going through a crisis in his own mental health and all that, but that doesn't excuse that he's a criminal.
No,
it doesn't. Right. And I feel the same way about that with these other filmmakers who I've talked about. Woody Allen, I would never do what Woody Allen did. And I can't see how anybody could ever possibly do that with Sun Yi. I could not see that. Right. But it's not against the law. And the other stuff with Dylan and Mia Farrow, that's kind of been cast out of court as there's not enough evidence for it. And personally, I can't see that happening. I think it might have been. It's hard to talk about because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a cop. You know what I mean? In terms of Woody Allen, all I can really talk about is the films, and I love the films.
Yeah.
And from, even though I totally disagree with him morally, his films inspired us so much. It's hard not to talk about them.
Yeah,
I mean, Hannah and Her Sisters is on the screen right now. That film is a perfect movie, and it is a Chekhov. Yep, It was Chekhov inspired. Hannah and Her Sisters. I mean, it's a perfect film. I think Michael Caine gives one of his best performances in that film. So do I never watch that performance again because of Woody Allen? I love that performance so much. Barbara Hershey is breathtaking in Hannah and Her Sisters. Max von Sydow is breathtaking in Hannah and Her Sisters. It's a brilliant. I think Radio Days is a perfect film too. But I'm not. You can't excuse criminals.
That's what I'm saying.
You just can't. And but it's hard for me not to talk about the art because
that's the thing for me. I love
because it inspired us so much.
Polanski's art. His films are, to me, like they are inspiring and
Ninth Gate, especially for me.
Yeah, same as.
Yeah.
But then you see, you have to separate because, like, we've no control over the legal precedents or proceedings, whatever. We can't say, oh, this guy should be arrested. We can't say, oh, we can't order somebody to arrest him, extradite him back to America for the charges.
Totally. You just got a lump in my throat there.
So we've got to talk about the art. We've got to separate the art from the artist.
I mean, I do. I generally do. Yes, I do separate the art from the artists. I do. I mean, I separate. I think I've spoken about this before on the channel. I'm a huge Charlton Heston fan. Like really, really big. I think Charlton Heston's the Omega Man, Soylent Green, Planet of the Apes, Ben-Hur, Ten Commandments, The Roundheads. I love all these films so much. I grew up watching them. To me, he was as much an action hero as Arnie was, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stallone, Dolph Lundgren. These guys I watched growing up, he was as big an action hero to me as they were. I love Charlton Heston's films. As a human being, stinks, not totally against my political views. The same with Woody Allen, like we're saying about Woody Allen. I would never do what Woody Allen did. I would never have Charlton Heston's political views ever, because that's just wrong in my opinion. But, I would never go and speak out about gun violence in a town where people had literally just been shot. I wouldn't. But he did. But I totally separate that from the films because he was playing a character. And it was, but it's difficult. It is. It's a difficult conversation to have. And I hope we've shed a little bit of light on it and how we feel about it anyway, because
you have, that's for sure.
I do. And I think as a filmmaker, and especially as someone who used to teach film, these debates are worth having, they really are. But at the same time, I can't see their point of view, I can't see why Polanski would do that. I can't see why Woody Allen would do that. I can't see it because I'm not like that. But I can see why they've made the artistic choices they've made.
Yes.
Which is them kind of mixing with the left side of my brain, which is the brain that thinks about art and thinks about characters and ideas. But it's one of those things, one of those debates. Oh yeah, the book's great, man. Timbo Bill talking about the book, the Club de Mas. That's a great book. Yeah, I got the English translation, which apparently wasn't a very good one. But I did. I bought the Club de Mas, the book, because I wanted to. I love it. It's so great, right, Bill? I mean, I think it's visually one of the greatest films of the. I mean, that was what, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird that when you show people that next to films like Eyes Wide Shut, and they're using the same technology that came out the same year, there's so many similarities. But Polanski's work looks a little bit better than Kubrick's. I know that's sacrilege to say, but Ninth Gate looks so good. I remember seeing it in 99 after seeing stuff like Ninth Gate, Eyes Wide Shut, and thinking, my God, this is like one of the best looking films I've ever seen. Ninth Gate's an incredible looking film. Great soundtrack.
I've watched Ninth Gate so many times, and I've watched it so many times.
What's your favorite performance, do you think, in the film? Because there's so many good ones.
Oh, I want to say the Baroness.
Baroness Kessler.
Yeah, Kempler. Yeah, whatever Kessler.
No,
yeah, because
so good.
She's kind of stubborn at first, and then she helps Kursel.
I know, it's great when he comes to her, and he flatters her at first.
Yeah.
And just flattery will get you nowhere.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's so great, that scene, I know. And then she calls him a wolf in sheep's clothing, and then he speaks to Balkan, and Balkan says, "Try it on the lunch hour."
Yeah.
And he passes
the secretary as well is
exactly. I was just going to say,
is a kind of a beast, so to speak.
That's how amazing that direction is in that film. Yeah. He comes back and he runs down the stairs, knocks our lunch out of her hand, and the oranges fall down the stairs. I remember that shot because it's so visually stunning.
Yeah, the oranges.
The oranges bouncing down the stairs, but the fact that it's set up because Balkan says, "Try the lunch hour." And he comes back, and because she's so big, it looks like she does weights. There's like 50 oranges bouncing down the stairs, and it's like perfect filmmaking. I was eating before, I just spat a bit of food out.
Oh,
sorry.
Gross. Gross.
No, it wasn't. No, sorry, ice. I was eating the ice.
Still gross.
But it was like it's such a great setup and payoff, great direction. I think it's one of his greatest films. I mean, everybody speaks about The Pianist, but I think Ninth Gate, direction-wise, is great. What do you rate about the book, Timbo Bill? Because I really did like the book, because it's definitely different. I mean, especially, what do you call her? Lena Olin's character. She's Telfa's wife.
Yeah.
She's totally different in the book. But I did like the book. And I like the bits he kept, especially Balkan getting set on fire at the end. That was so good.
I haven't read the book, to be honest with you. I'd love to read it.
But it's just so good it's so good. I mean, the digital effects still look great too, and that's from nearly 30 years ago now. 25 years ago, sorry.
Well, 26 actually this year, yeah.
26. But the special effects still look fantastic in Ninth Gate. I mean, I would say I'll at least watch it once a year.
No, I would watch it about 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
No, it's really great. Like, well, it's great. So speaking of brilliant performances, have you seen Billy Zane and Waltzing with Brando? Yes, I have. Oh my God, my friend Billy Zane. I don't know if you can see it. You can't, can you? But I've got a poster there in the top corner. Sniper, which is a Billy Zane movie. When I was a kid, it's him and Tom Berenger. Billy Zane's the best. It's like, I was so happy, Solitude, that Billy Zane's had this kind of resurgence in his career. I mean, remember he was in stuff like Critters, and, you know, it was like he was always around somewhere. And even after Titanic, I never thought he got the like projection that he deserved. I always thought he was a proper leading man, Billy Zane. Well, Gary, I can see your face there, Gary. You're just like...
No, I'm thinking of when he's in Twin Peaks.
Oh, man, John Wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays John Wheeler, right, in Twin Peaks. I love John Justice Wheeler.
Yes.
That's his name in Twin Peaks.
Audrey's love.
And I mean, there's a lot to be said about that in The Return, because you're saying I'm going to go and meet Billy. Was she thinking about Billy? Because she's in the real world. There's a lot to be said. Yeah, but no, Billy Zane, I have to say, Solitude, Billy Zane's a friend of mine. And I think he's great as Brando. Not a friend in real life. I wish he was. But I mean, Demon Knight, the Tales from the Crypt movie, he's so good in it. So good in Dead Calm. He's just, in my opinion, he never got the credit he deserved, Billy Zane. He kind of peaked with Titanic, but he should have catapulted after Titanic, and he just didn't.
Phantom as well.
Yeah, he did the Phantom. He was the Phantom.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
and that was like because he just should have peaked, but he never did. I think he's a great actor, and I mean that without being sarcastic. I'm a big Billy Zane fan, and I really think he should have been more highly regarded than he was, but he definitely is regarded in this house. And I think he's great as Brando. I think it's a bit of like a career crown and achievement for him. I think I'm so pleased he's got it because I'm such a big fan.
Cool.
Oh, you haven't read The Ninth Gate yet. All right, there's a few differences. It's actually very different, but some of the stuff's the same, but not the stuff with Balkan. I'm so glad they kept the Balkan character because it's really good. But I read lots of horror. I think we have too, right, Kerry? We're two massive horror readers.
Yeah, for me, a lot of Stephen King, James Herbert, Victorian literature.
Bram Stoker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mary Shelley.
Yes.
Oh, Bram Stoker. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, you showed us the other night, yes.
Yeah.
Had to wrap my eyes. I thought I was watching Brando.
Hang on.
So that's Billy Zane. He was. I mean, I'll tell you, who did a good Brando. Did you see Matt Dillon in the film that did recently about Maria Scheider's experience making The Last Tango? I can't remember what the film was called, but I did watch it when it came out, and it was pretty good. But Matt Dillon did a good one. It wasn't really an impersonation. He was just acting a part. Whereas I think Billy Zane's was more of an interpretation. It wasn't an impersonation. And I love Billy Zane. I'm singing to the choir with me. I think Billy Zane's a master. I really do. Yeah, any fans of James Herbert? Timbo Bill's just saying, Kerry, you're a massive James Herbert fan, right?
I am.
I've read The Haunting and I've read Rats, and that's it. So
actually, just what Timbo says there, he bought Ash there, the last novel he wrote.
Yes.
I bought that actually in Poundland.
Is he still going, Herbert?
No, he's dead.
Mm.
He died in 2018, 2019.
All right.
But I bought Ash. There's a trilogy. There's a Haunted. I forget the second one, and there's Ash, the third one. And Ash is a great protagonist, though. Skeptical for a lot of Haunted, even though he's a paranormal hunter.
I'll have to check him out. He's recommended. I think it might have been you two that recommended him to us before, and that's why I read Rats.
Yes, we did recommend him to you. Yeah,
because I'd read Haunted, and you were saying you should read some other stuff, and I think I read Rats after you two. There was another series you recommended to us.
Oh,
which I didn't read yet. Obviously.
Oh, geez, what was it now? Rats. Well, I don't know. It was Sepultura or the Magic Cottage.
I can't remember. I'll have a look back at the messages because you did send us some messages.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was during one of the streams, but I'll go back. But I did read Rats off the recommendation you guys seen. Read some more of his stuff.
I will definitely read others.
The others I will do.
Others, yeah. It's not like not the others, like the Nicole Kidman movie. It's others. It's a totally different story.
But favorite writers. I've got lots of favorite horror writers. Like I really liked. I just finished Psycho 2, so I'm a big Robert Bloch fan. You know, I really like Robert Bloch's writing. It's a little bit. I like Joe Stefano, who did Psycho. I think he's a really good horror writer. I'm a big Stephen King fan. Do you guys like Richard Lehman? I'm a big Richard Lehman fan. I think he's really great. He does kind of more like gory horror.
Okay.
He does a great story, which is kind of like Shivers, the Cronenberg film, where these parasites get into a town but really good. But my favorite's Tony Burgess. I think Tony Burgess is fantastic. He's my favorite modern horror writer. He wrote Pontypool, changes everything that the Pontypool movie was based on. But then I started reading his other books. I really recommend The N Body Problem, which is about zombies. And they send all the zombies out into space to try and get rid of them. And that's all I'll say because it's such a great, great story. It's like it ends up like blocking the sun and stuff, but it's just so good. Like he's a great writer, Tony Burgess. I really recommend his stuff if anyone's listening who loves the kind of, I don't know, the kind of horror literature we like, I guess. Lovecraft. I can quote Lovecraft. I love him so much. Well, I think you can, Kerry, too, right? You're a big Lovecraft fan.
I wouldn't be as big as you, to be honest with you.
But I know we've talked about him before because he was a big influence on me as a kid. Obviously, Solitude, I agree. I was just going to say that.
Very, very, very terrible.
Very terrible person. His books are very racist. And I would, if anyone's listening to this, listen to what we might recommend. You should think about that because he's very, very racist. He is. His books he's a New England gentleman, or at least he pretended to be. He was actually a lot poorer than he pretended to be, Lovecraft. And but I've spent a lot of years studying Lovecraft and looking at where he came from in New England. And his grandfather was very rich, and it was, but he wasn't rich. The family spent lots of the money already. He was in a very strange relationship with his mother, who kind of doted on him a lot. And he was this kind of, he had a wife who really promoted his writing to New York, but he was never like really a sexual being. He was such a peculiar character. And I think part of what his awfulness comes from, that we would call racism, and I would call racism, I have to say, I think he was a racist, is that he was like almost like a germaphobe type guy that was, so like he believed what the upper class people told him because he wanted to be upper class. Do you know what I mean? From my studies of him, that's what I've kind of found. Reading about him, I can't really go too in depth with it without saying really horrible words because he was a horrible racist man. He was. And like, again, like the conversation we had before, I'm not excusing that at all. But his stories I love his story so much. I remember reading Cthulhu when he goes out into the swamps in New Orleans. There's so much there that's just, I felt like I was there in the swamps with the detective when the detective's trying to find out the Cthulhu cult and all that. It's so good.
Well, they are details books, all right, that's for sure.
Oh man, I love the Rats in the Walls, the short story. I think it's absolutely brilliant. The Rats in the Walls, my favorites, The Outsider, because that's how I felt. I mean, that's kind of how I relate to it. That's kind of maybe why I'm not making excuses for him being a horrible human being, because he obviously was not a very nice dude. The product of his kind of swampy, time, being part of that horrible aristocracy in that part of the world at that time in New England. People who thought they were better than everybody else, and he did think he was better than everybody else, but he wasn't. He was just a writer struggling, and he was poor, and I think he had this idea of himself that he wasn't, and he wanted to be like those upper class guys that were the horrible racists.
Probably
and stuff.
Fitzgerald and like.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's who he was aspiring to be. I know he loved Edgar Allan Poe, and he wanted to be a poet like Edgar Allan Poe, but Lovecraft wasn't quite a poet. He was long prose writing. All these, when you read Lovecraft's writing, like you get words like I can't think of any now, like the Eldridge Moon. It's like he says these really long-winded descriptions. The Eldridge Moon swung over the Melton Meadow as the clock struck 12, and all these beautiful descriptions. But all he's saying is it was 12 o'clock and the moon was high.
Yeah.
But he gives you these beautiful kind of dripping in, I don't know, descriptive paragraphs of words. And he's great. He is. I love Lovecraft. Not him as a man, but him as a writer.
Yeah.
I mean the animals. There's a cat that's got a really racist name in one of his books, and I remember being shocked as a kid reading it, thinking, "What the hell, man? I like this guy. I thought he was just a horror writer." The INGGER word, yes. But it was just like, my God, what? It was awful to read it. But like I say, he was a product of that swampy, horrible time in New England where everybody thought they were better than everybody else, and they're not. But his just words are beautiful, I think. In the books, as the characters, not as him.
For sure.
Yeah, yes. Not as him as a man. T.D. Klein, Ceremonies is good. Clive Barker's early novels, yes, man. I like Clive Barker too. Klein's good. I like I think we were talking about Books of Blood, weren't we, Kerry, not long ago?
Yep.
And I remember reading the Books of Blood, and that had a big impact on us in terms of story, because Clive Barker's from Liverpool, and I'm not close to Liverpool at all. I was from Sunderland, but it made us think, oh well, man, he's doing it. Maybe I can do it. It was one of those, and especially a time like late 80s, 87 Hellraiser, right? 87. That was everywhere on video, so everybody was watching it. I was really inspired by that. I did see the films first. I read Clive Barker's books after I'd seen the films.
Same.
So it wasn't like most writers where I'd read the books first. With him, I saw the films first and then read his books. But yeah, I love Lovecraft too, man. Like I say, I love him, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love Edgar Allan Poe as well. It's like the romantic poets, Mary Shelley and other Shelley. But like the romantic side, the romantic side of it, I absolutely love. But not as a human being, but as a writer, incredible. And I mean, I love the John Carpenter movie In the Mouth of Madness, which is totally inspired by Lovecraft. But there's just that thing, man, in The Outsider. It was, this is to sum up all that stuff I've been talking about him being not a very nice and being a product of his time. He wrote this story. If anyone knows The Outsider, a guy wakes up in this damp, dark, like cell, like Castle Freak, like the Stuart Gordon movie that he based on the story. This guy wakes up and he gets out of the cell and he like climbs up this castle wall, and he's, it's horrible. It's, icky, and he gets out of it and he gets out in the real world and he's running. And he's like trying to reach out for people, and all the people are running away from him. And he's like, why are you running away from us? What's going on? Just escape from this castle basement. I want some love. I want some people. And the story ends. He gets to a mirror and reaches out, and he's a monster, and everybody's running away from him because he's a monster. And reading that as a teenager was just like, I felt like that monster, and that really spoke to us in terms of Lovecraft. That was the Lovecraft story that was like, man, I totally get this guy and what he's writing about. Not the fact that he was an aristocrat who was a horrible product of his time from New England, but the fact that he was thinking what I was thinking as like a 15-year-old reading the story of The Outsider when I was the monster that everybody was running away from. And I'll always love him because of that. B.R. Yeager, Negative Space. I've never read that one.
Neither have I.
And that's a good one. We'll make notes of those. Is that sci-fi then, Timbo? Or is it more like horror? It's a good title, Negative Space. I don't miss the one that he died a virgin. Is that Lovecraft? I know he had a wife, but I don't think they ever did make love to each other. From what I understand now, because I have read a few biographies and seen a few documentaries. There's a really good documentary I made a few years ago with John Carpenter was in it. And Benicio del Toro was in it too, talking about and Neil Gaiman was in it, the writer. I think it was called Necronomicon, or it was a really good documentary anyway. And it was a lot of those people were talking about their love for him. I think it might have been called Fear of the Beyond, actually, Kerry. Or Fear of the Unknown. Fear of the Unknown. It was called Fear of the Unknown. Yep. And I'm sure they said that in the doc, Solitude, that even though he had a wife, I don't think they ever actually consummated the marriage. After reading The Hellbound Heart and seeing Hellraiser, design my own boxes. Cool. I was like that too. Once I seen Hellraiser, I was like, okay. I was once I started buying the books. So you design like artwork around them on the shelves. I've been doing that. I've been doing that recently with I bought a. I don't know if you can see it behind us. I built Michael Myers a house. It's a Michael Myers figure just above my head. I was starting to try and make some houses for my figures and stuff to try and keep my love of the films going, which is awesome.
Very good. All horror. Brilliant.
All horror.
Excuse me.
Do you want to call it a night then?
Is that okay? You don't mind?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can stick around. If you guys want to stick around, I'm happy to stick around for another half an hour. But if you want to go, Kerry, that's cool.
Okay. Well, I love you and leave you, son, as I say here.
All right.
Look after John.
Well, I won't be around much longer. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to leave when you leave, Kerry.
I don't know that. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll wait till you're ready to go. Which could be hours.
We'll be here till 3 a.m.
Well, I definitely can't do that. But no, nice seeing y'all, and good to good to watch a good movie. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody.
Well, it's been my pleasure.
I'll chat, and if you haven't liked already, so plug Cinema Conversations.
And you can see me and Kerry on Cinema Conversations all the time. I think we've done not all the time, but we've done, what was it, 7 or 8 streams already?
8 streams, and then
and so counting.
We'll be doing another one hopefully. When do you think, John? Saturday? This day week? Or
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm thinking about making them a regular thing here on the Boneyard as well. So
okay. Well, we'll talk about that off stream. So
it'll either be Friday or Saturday. We're doing the next one.
Okay. Well, if I can get in touch with Kieran about the film,
yes, that would be great. If
I'll let you know. So, okay. Peace out, gang.
All right, cheers, Kerry.
Chat to you later.
Everybody, Cinema Conversations, best channel on YouTube.
Hardly.
Well, with me and you in it, it's got to be great.
I know, yeah. Okay. Bye.
All right, good night, Kerry. Well, thanks for sticking around. All right, thanks, Kerry. It's so great to have Cinema Conversations on the channel. I didn't realize, so we'd done 8 on Cinema Conversations, Kerry's channel, and we hadn't done any live streams together on my channel, Boneyard Cinema. So I was like, come on mine and do one, and we'll watch The Hills Have Eyes. Many thanks. Stick around, Bennett. But it's been great. But I mean, in terms of horror novels, Richard Lehman, Lovecraft, definitely Edgar Allan Poe, they were the ones that I fell in love with first. They really were. I mean, Stephen King, I didn't get into until my sister gave us Carrie. My sister gave us a book of Carrie when I was like, must have been 15 or 16. And that was the first time I read, maybe it's a little bit earlier, maybe 13 or 14. First time I read Carrie. but such a great writer as well. Please do them on Saturdays as I can attend them. I'm always occupied Friday night school. Well, we've been thinking about alternating, Timbo. So me and Kerry have been doing it for a while. Glenn as well from Cynical Celluloid might want to be starting to do some things. So I've been thinking about doing a schedule. Maybe Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. But we'll look into it because I've been really enjoying doing them. I was so nervous about doing live streams. I never thought I would do them. But then once we started doing them, it's been great. We'll watch Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. We've done a couple with Kerry. We'll watch Lawnmower on Cinema Conversations, Lawnmower Man. And I've really enjoyed them. What will the next podcast be about? I think, Solitude, I'm going to do... I've been getting into true crime films. I mean, I've always been into them. But I did a one about a film... what the hell was it called? I've had a couple of whiskeys now. Give it a sec. I'll check the channel. But I was getting really into true crime films. And I saw this one that really kind of kicked my ass recently. And I did a video about it called Compliance. And it was a true story about a girl who was like made to totally strip naked at work. And then they took her clothes off her and like, it was horrible. It was horrible crime. So I started to think, what are my favorite true crime movies? So I've been thinking about doing a few true crime ones. And I think I'm going to do The Town That Dreaded Sundown. That's kind of based on the real killings that happened in Texarkana and also mixed with the Zodiac killings. It's kind of influenced by that, I think. And there was a great remake of that too, actually. I think it was in about 2010 or 2011. It was a really good remake. So I think I'm going to do The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I'm going to be working on that tomorrow, though. Starting to get the next video together. But I've been loving doing the podcast style videos because the editing's a little bit less, so I can do them more often. So rather than being able to do 2 a month, for example, I've been able to do 3 this month. And I was a little bit worried that the quality might drop in the content, but it hasn't. I've been able to write just as fast as I've always written, but it's taken us a little bit less editing time because I've been doing like more of a podcast format and just using the setup that I use for the live here. But I did like make an effort at putting all my posters in the background and stuff so people can look at them, you know. So it gives people something to look at and hopefully a feel for my taste in movies too while we're talking about them. But I think the next one's going to be about Town That Dreaded Sundown, the 76 film, I think it was, or 78, it might have been. Let me check, Town That Dreaded Sundown. But it's a very, very great film. Ben Johnson plays the sheriff, and he's a great actor. So yeah, it was 76. The remake was 2014. Original was 76. But I'm thinking that's going to be my next one. I like your enthusiasm, John. One can feel you are real. Cool, man. That's cool. That's the best compliment anyone's ever given in Solitude. That's almost brings a tear to the eye. I try to be. It's like when you watch channels, you know, the people, and I love a lot of people's channels. The people that are genuine people are always the best ones. Like Kerry, for example, on Kerry's channel, Kerry Henderson, or Cinema Conversations. Just people with a genuine love of films. There's people who I do love, people like Elvira, for example, Mistress of the Dark, who kind of do those kind of horror talks that way. But there's no way I could do that on YouTube. That's kind of what I wanted to do at first. I wanted to do kind of a horror commentary like what she used to do because I grew up loving her stuff. But being real, talking about them, I think the podcasts are a great way to do that because it flows a lot more. I mean, the Poltergeist one, all I did was make a few notes. You probably noticed I was reading a lot on the Poltergeist one, but I made notes and I just went through the notes and just jived on the notes. It was great. It's all really genuine. It's all really how I feel about the movies, and it means a lot because that's really what I wanted it to feel like. I wanted this to be like a bar where we can just drop in and talk about movies. That's really what I intended for it to be. At first, I think I tried too hard. If you watch my earlier videos, I think I was trying too hard to be like, I don't know, I think they're not overproduced because they're not that great, but I think I was scripting stuff too much and, you know, rather than just my real passion coming through. And I think it has in the last couple of videos, hopefully. And I think it showed. I've gotten a few more subscribers lately, which is cool. But yeah, I'm really hoping that it shows because I really do love this stuff. You know, I do. It's not like it's not like I'm putting on I mean, I am putting on a show because I really want to talk about these things, but I mean everything I say. I mean, it's films like Hills Have Eyes, you know. I mean, that affected my life massively. I mean, films like Hall we were talking about before, Ken Russell, The Hitcher. I mean, these things they're not just things I watch a couple of times and don't think about, they're on my mind a lot, you know, even though they're just these movies. And I really want to connect with people and talk to people and, you know, have that conversation with other people out there about these things that I think about. A conversation got a little bit deep earlier on. We're talking about Arnie Hammer and, you know, Woody Allen and Polanski and stuff, but the things that I think about, and I think the conversation's worth having. And I'm so glad that we're having them. I've also been thinking about doing some stuff with film news, because I've lately found myself a lot more interested in releases of films, like old films that I like that are getting re-released. So, for example, I'm a huge fan of In the Mouth of Madness, and Arrow have just released In the Mouth of Madness, but they've also released Abel Ferrara's Miss 45. A couple of years ago, they did Driller Killer, and now they've just done Miss 45, and I think now is a cool time to start and talk about those movies again, because 4K is really kicking into high gear now, and we're getting some great films released on 4K that, like Miss 45, that back in the day when I was kind of scraping around trying to find videos of them, you would have never thought they'd be getting Blu-ray and 4K releases. So I was thinking about maybe doing something about new releases and talking about news, but I don't know. I mean, that's just something I'm thinking about in terms of engagement with everybody out there in the boneyard. But all I want to do is seem genuine and talk about films, because my whole life's been movie solitude. It really has. And I get the feeling from you and Timbo and, you know, the other people that we talked about, you feel the same way. Hopefully I'm not just rambling on. But it's they've always been important. You know, music and movies have always been one of the most important things in my life. And it's great to be able to talk about them with everybody. It really is. And I mean, with Kerry, I've kind of found someone who wants to stream as well. And I met Kerry through Cynical Celluloid, Glenn Criddle's channel, Lampy Man 101. And we just started discussing that. I think we met talking about Abel Ferrara, funnily enough. And we just kept going and going. And we've ended up having these conversations that we're having now. And it's been great. I think that's where the name Cinema Conversations came from, because me and Kerry would just talk all night about movies, even if we weren't recording it. That's the thing. I still like collecting DVD and Blu-rays. Just don't trust streaming too much. Yeah, they get removed, I know. I like the DVDs. Me too. Definitely me too. I'm definitely a collector. I'm gonna maybe I'll do a video on Boneyard Cinema about my collection. It's not huge, but I've got like a couple of thousand copies of different films on physical media, like the Romeros, the Cravens, the Hoopers, you know, the Cronenbergs, the Kelly Reichardts, the Catherine Bigelows. I collect that stuff, you know. So I've got a lot of stuff, my kind of living room walls just kind of dedicated to movies. So I could do a video on that, maybe, and talk about physical media, because it is important. Physical media, it always was to me, though, Solitude. Like when I was a kid, it was VHS. But I would collect them. I mean, we were talking about Hitchcock earlier on. The first person I ever collected was Alfred Hitchcock. And I was collecting these videos on VHS, because you couldn't, I mean, if I wanted to see Hitchcock, you know, I had to wait for Hitchcock to come up on the pictures or on the television. And if they were on the cinema, I had to go and, you know, see them with my dad, because some of them, like Frenzy, were 15s. But I think The Birds was a 15 as well, actually, wasn't it? But, you know, video just allowed us to bypass that, especially with films later on, like Bad Lieutenant and things. You know, video was like, I could watch them at home, and it was just fantastic. And I collected. First two people I collected were Alfred Hitchcock and Sam Peckinpah. I collected all of his works I possibly could in Peckinpah's movies. I still buy DVDs, me too. I still buy DVDs. I don't only buy them. I buy Blu-ray and 4K as well. 4K not so much, because it's getting so expensive now. But it always was, I guess. I mean, I remember the first DVD I bought of The Thing was like 25 quid in Woolworths. They were expensive when DVDs first came out too. Now you can get like, I was in a market the other day. I bought 10 DVDs for 3 quid. 10 for 3 quid. That was the deal. I got stuff like Lorenzo's Oil, and I think I got Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, just like stuff I didn't have from video days. It's crazy now. But now, thinking about The Hills Have Eyes, before we did the stream, I got thinking about the VHS I used to have of The Hills Have Eyes, which was a 4-front VHS of The Hills Have Eyes. And he also had a one that I think it was, I can't remember the name, but it had an orange strip across the front. We talked about it earlier. And I went on eBay and I just thought, I'll have a look and see how much that 4-front VHS is, because I don't own it anymore. And I thought I would like to have that and maybe have it framed. And it was like 50 quid for the Hills Have Eyes VHS 4-front releasing, which was a kind of pound stretcher. You used to be able to buy 4-front videos in pound stretcher here in the UK. But now, obviously, so in the future, DVDs, Blu-rays might be expensive too, I guess. But I do buy a lot too. I still buy a lot of DVDs. Getting harder to buy them in the street, though. It is getting harder to buy them in the street, definitely. There's a couple of choices now. You've either got eBay or CAX. I know here in the UK, we used to have a place called Music Zone, but it went bust a couple of years ago. That was like maybe 15, 18 years ago, around that mark. But I used to get so many DVDs from there because they'd refurbish secondhand DVDs. And I mean, Poundland did it for a while. Can you remember when Poundland started to refurbish films? So you could buy them for £1 that were refurbished, but they had on the packet refurbished. I mean, you were buying things like Zoolander and that there, though you weren't buying like Zombie Flesh Eaters or, Dawn of the Dead. You were buying things like that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think physical media is dwindling down in that Shout Factory. Do you know about the Shout Factory shit, Timbo Bill? So I think Shout Factory is pretty much going to streaming from the sounds of it. They've just had a really big sale. And I think Shout Factory, Scream Factory have been bought by someone who's possibly going to put their whole catalog online rather than selling physical copies, kind of totally cutting out the middleman altogether. And I'm so worried that that's going to be the future because I love holding them so much. I really do. I mean, I like holding them. I've still got videos and stuff back there that I really like holding from back in the day. And I do think people like physical media. Yes, I do. I think people really do. I know that I've got mates who collect film just like me, just like us, and we buy physical copies. We do. I mean, the latest Cronenberg film, it's touch and go whether it's even going to get a physical media release, which is weird to me because I've always owned films like Videodrome, and it's so weird to think I might not be able to own one. And I guess it's the same as, well, I loved Ice Cube, right? I was talking about Ice Cube earlier on, and I remember Ice Cube talking about his albums coming out on CD rather than vinyl. And I remember him saying it's so weird that my next album's not going to be on vinyl; it's going to be on CD. And I mean, it must be weird that way for filmmakers, thinking my films aren't going to be released on physical media; they're just going on to streaming. They're going to be on Tubi or Amazon or wherever they go. I do see Tubi because I've had some good experiences on Tubi lately. There's lots of adverts, but I found a lot of found footage films on Tubi that were really good. I was quite surprised. Yeah, the Fops, Bill. There's one in Covent Garden here that I go to all the time in London. There's also one in Cambridge, so I can get the train and go to Fop in Cambridge. But there's one in Cambridge, one in Covent Garden. And so from what I understand, Fop was HMV, right? But Fop kind of said, no, we want to keep being a store, and they bought the rights or something so they could be their independent thing. But I think Fop was part of HMV to begin with, if I'm right. Correct as if I'm wrong. But because I remember Fop really popping up when streaming and stuff really kicked off and HMV closed, there was still Fops. Yeah, Bill, do I? Still got one in Cambridge. Sorry. Yep. Oh, you're not sure if they have? All right, shit. Seeing that, it has been about 6 months since I popped into the one in Cambridge, so you might be right if it's there anymore. I'm not sure. The last Cronenberg film I did really rate. I thought it was really good. I did. It was called The Shrouds. You had Vincent Cassel giving a really solid lead performance. And the actress's name, I forget, but I'll tell you now because she was really good in it. Let me just Google it really quickly because she was really good in the movie. It was the girl from... man, you'll know her name as soon as I say it. Diane Kruger. She was really good in that movie too. It was about... HMV bought Fop. All right, I understand, right. What do you use them for, Timbo? Do you use them for editing purposes? Do you create new stuff with the tapes or just to record on? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, HMV bought FOP, right? That's cool. So FOP must have been their storefront for a while, I guess. The FOP did reopen in London, I know, because I went down there a couple of months ago when it reopened about 2 months ago, and I went and bought a whole bunch of Italian kind of Shameless. Shameless released a few I wanted. I got Footprints on the Moon. Cambridge talking about 6 and 8. I was definitely there after that. I was teaching in Cambridge up until 6 months ago. So it was definitely still there 6 months ago. I left Cambridge in May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So, yep, 6 months ago. So I was still teaching in Cambridge and it was still there. The last film I bought there was a new one I wanted to get. New release of an old film. I can't remember, but it was great for that. They had them all. So in FOP, you could go and they had like it was 88 films released that I wanted to get. I think it was Moon and Scorpio. It was one of their Slasher Classics collections that I wanted to get. And I went to FOP because I knew they'd have it, and they had it in the one in Cambridge. She is, isn't she? Excellent. You don't really like her? Did you see the Shroud Solitude? I thought she was great in I thought she was great in the Shrouds. I didn't like her in she was in a Tarantino movie with Fassbender. That was it her in the scene with Fassbender? But she was in a Tarantino movie. I think it was Inglourious Basterds. I think that was the one. And I didn't think she was that great in that. I think she owned the theater, I think, in it. But in the Shrouds, she was really good. It was like totally bearing her soul to the screen. I really admired it. But I'm with you. I'm like that with a few actors and actresses. A lot of them I don't like until I see them in something I love, if that makes sense. But then I see them in that one thing and I say something and I think, okay, that makes sense. But I was like that with Kruger too. I don't think she's great in the Tarantino film, but she was really good in the Shrouds, I think. Oh, cool, for effects. Excellent. Right. I do a lot of recording, just simple recording here on synths. Well, not synths. I use VSTs. But I like the Prophet 5 because I'm a big fan of Carpenter's scores. So I do try to do, I don't know if you know, but I've got another channel, Boneyard Music, where I sometimes whack some synth stuff on there, like music-wise. But I love to record stuff. I like to sample voices too. I did a one not long ago I did like an Argento thing where I sample voices from Argento movies and did a kind of sound, a song to them and use the voices of the lyrics. But I love all that kind of stuff. That'd be interesting. Is there any stuff we can hear, Bill, online anywhere? I'd love to listen to it. Yes, it was Inglourious Basterds. Kerry's back, look. Yes, I thought it was Inglourious Basterds. If it's out on DVD, right? The Shrouds was excellent as well. Oh, man, I missed that. Sorry, Roland. Yep, the original form. It's out on DVD. Sorry, I'm just going back through the chat here. The multi-tracker that you use. All right, cool. Back from the original form. I totally missed these. I forgot to scroll down in the comments. Sorry, everybody. I did like Laserdisc. I did. I liked Betamax. It was. I talked about this on a previous stream. I think it might have been on Cinema Conversations. My mother worked for Philips Electronics, Bill, so she could. She was putting microchips in TVs and stuff and making plays. She was like I don't know, like on the conveyor belts, doing stuff with so we had like a Betamax player, we had a Laserdisc player because she could get with her workers discount. So it was great. It was one of the reasons why I love films. I had so many good Laserdiscs. There's a great Laserdisc of a film called Dead Air with Gregory Hines. I love Laserdiscs. They're really under commentaries that we hear now on like vintage stuff are from the Laserdisc versions. So it's out on DVD, Blu-ray next month. Cheers, Kerry. It's all right. 100% hardware synth-wise, right? Cool. I wish I could. I really do wish I could. I'd love a real Prophet. I really would. I'd love a Prophet 5. It's they've got my favorite sound. I really like as well the what's the Hammond one that John Harrison used on Day of the Dead? The sounds are great on it. because I like I say, it wasn't a physical. I downloaded some VSTs, but you could really I couldn't recreate what Harrison did, but I could hear the sounds he used. It was so good, but you could also hear them on Thriller, Michael Jackson. So many great synths. But yeah, I love messing around on them. Timbo, I do it all the time. I don't know if you can see, there's an M Audio keyboard down in the background. I'm always messing around. Always. It's one of the pleasures of life, isn't it, to be able to create stuff like that? You must be in your 50s, John. No, I'm not. I was just a kid when my mother worked at Philips. But I'm not far off. I'll tell you that I'm not far off. Nothing online? All right, cool, man. If you ever want to share anything, I'd love to hear it. Check out my stuff on Boneyard Music if you fancy it. There's just some synth stuff in there, a lot of singer-songwriter stuff for the acoustic guitar too. But I'm always messing around and trying to create like synth-based or piano-based scores to films. I love doing John Carpenter stuff. I try to recreate the. He did a great melody, I thought, in The Mouth of Madness on the piano. And a couple of weeks ago, I was just messing around, and I love the Italian music too, like Fabio Frizzi. I really like all that stuff. They did so much. Great. Halloween 3 on Betamax, man. I wish I had Halloween 3 on Betamax. Old School Industrial too. I missed the first one. Sorry. I'm literally going down the list of comments now. Yeah. Oh man, Old School Industrial is great. It was, I totally dig that too, man. I really like it. Going back and plugging the old stuff in. I used to work in a studio. My first job when I was a kid, I left school, was to work in a studio in Sunderland. And they still had all the old setups this was the 80s. This was the setups from the 80s. This was the late 90s. But they still had the old setups. And I remember playing around with all the old synths they had and just trying to plug them in and make these sounds was incredible, man. And I fell in love with it. That's how I fell in love with it all. And the soundtracks, I'm a big Tangerine Dream fan as well. And I remember trying to recreate like Firestarter, trying to mess around on the keys in this place. And it was fantastic. But that's how I kind of fell in love with synth-based stuff. Was in particular Firestarter. I really like the soundtrack from Firestarter. But I'd love to have Halloween 3 on Betamax. I had the pre-cert VHS, the UK one. That's how I used to watch it when I was a kid. I love that movie so much. Mr. Laserdisc Fraser Physical Media. Damn, your dad and your technophobia. Your dad had a technophobia. I remember you seeing, No. You also have 3 copies of Halloween 3. I've still got the VHS, the preset VHS somewhere. I've looked for it. Like, I know it's there somewhere. I'm down London now, so I think it might be at my dad's, but I know I've got it because I never got rid of it. So I'll find it. I will. But I'd love, and I've got the Scream Factory did a version of it not long ago on Blu-ray. And I also have the different DVD releases. There was a DVD release that was uncut, and there was a DVD release that was cut in the UK, and I bought them all. I did. It's a film that I watched a lot. Halloween. That would be a great film for a watch along, Bill. It's a great film, I think. Probably, I thought there was more love now for Halloween 3 than there is. I started to look at a few videos and stuff this Halloween, doing Halloween rankings, and I kind of thought people had come around to Halloween 3, but apparently they haven't. It was like, but I watched it constantly. I did. I watched it until tape burnt out. I love that movie so much. I will, dude. I will. I'll take your advice. I'll try it. I will. All behind Matrix. All that stuff's lush, man. I mean, I love the Wendy Carlos and all that. I got proper into all that stuff because it was so different. There was a mate of mine got me into Tangerine Dream. Like I say, I love the Firestarter soundtrack, and I own it. I still have the vinyl from back in the day. I still actually own it, the vinyl that I bought back in the day. And I really got into their soundtracks, like Risky Business and stuff. But a mate of mine was like, John, have you heard, like, do you know where this comes from? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, do you know Can? I was like, who were Can? He was like, oh, well, David Bowie's Low. I was like, yep. He was like, well, Low is what Can is. He was like, Bowie was trying to be Can on Low. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. So he started giving us all this music from Germany in the 60s and 70s. And I mean, they were messing around. I mean, that whole, they call it kraut rock, right? It's kraut rock. But those guys were messing around with all that stuff like years before anybody else, especially Can. It's so great. Some of that music is fantastic. But I did fall in love with Tangerine Dream. I have to say that was kind of my introduction to it all. Love all that Solitude. Yeah, go to bed, Carrie. Doing sound work as you listen to us. You'll have to try and incorporate my giggles into it. I love it. I do. I'd love to hear it, man. I'd love to hear some stuff. I really would. But I mean, when I'm not, I don't know if you know, but build up my soundtracks to my episodes. If you listen to them 9 times out of 10, that's me just doing something in the background, trying to make some kind of ambient soundtrack to the film, to the reviews. So to make them a little bit more enjoyable, I started to do podcasts recently, and I got so bored of listening to podcasts that were just voices. So I've been messing around with putting kind of soundscapes in the background of them, and we'll see what it's like. He lies. He's 150. I just bathe in the blood of Ingrid Pitt. That's why I look so good. Fantastic. Sorry, I'm just scrolling down the comments again. Gives us a sec to catch up. Fritzy did a great score. It is. Do you know that got released as a single? I actually own the single. In Japan, it got released as a disco version. The dun 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 dun. There's a Japanese disco single of it, Kerry. You probably know it already because I think you're as massive a Fulci fan as I am. But that Fabio Frizzi score, there's a Japanese disco mix of it. I was fucking amazed to find it when I was looking through it. I think it was him, but I'm not sure. TD are awesome. I do love them. So you designed your own synths, Timbo. That's pretty cool. It's I've never looked into it. I did build a guitar once, but I mean, obviously that's totally different, but similar. I guess we both share the same passion for it. It was I did when I was a kid. I designed it. Well, I didn't design. I made an acoustic guitar out of wood. It sounded pretty good. It's I ended up selling it, but it sounded good enough to sell anyway. But yeah, it's I'd love to design my own synths and VSTs. It was, but it's. I mean, with me, I'm still pretty new to it. Because I started messing around with piano was about 6 or 7 years ago. And just kind of thinking, okay, because I started doing short film projects. And I couldn't afford to pay a sound designer or a sound engineer or even someone to do the soundtrack. So I've always played guitar. I was a huge Neil Young fan. Neil Young, when I was a teenager, like 13, 14, stopped playing the guitar because of Neil Young. I just fell in love with his guitar sound because it's like nobody else's. I don't know if you know, he did those interesting synth albums like Trans and that in the 80s that were pretty cool. I mean, he was about 10 years behind of Autobahn, but not Autobahn. What do you call him? Autobahn was the title of the album, wasn't it? The German band that Kraftwerk. So he was a couple of years behind Kraftwerk, but Neil Young did some Kraftwerk stuff in the 80s that I thought was really interesting. But so you went to Newcastle University as well. Crazy. Yeah, the score for The Keep is brilliant. Yes, it is. It's a great score. And if you listen to them back to back, their scores for Sorcerer and The Keep, Edgar Froese just used to write music and give them to people. He never recorded a score. He just wrote songs and then gave them to, when people came to him and said, "Oh, would like to have you do the score," he'd say, "Oh yeah, okay, give us a couple of weeks to work on stuff." And he wouldn't. He'd just give them music he'd wrote recently. And if you listen to them back to back, Betrayal from Sorcerer and The Keep, they're really, really great similar soundtracks. So are you still in, Timbo? Are you still in Newcastle? I'm from Sunderland, but I grew up in Washington. My dad moved us to Washington when I was a kid. So I went to school in Washington. But yeah, Newcastle, I went to the John Marley Centre to study music. I don't know if you know it, but it was I studied music at the John Marley Centre in Newcastle. That was the first time I went to college. Loved it there. It was great city. There's a pub, the Dog and Parrot. Do you know the Dog and Parrot next to the Pink Triangle? We used to do gigs upstairs. I was in a rock and roll cover band called Fat Sam. And we used to play gigs upstairs in the Dog and Parrot. I loved all that place. But it was a great city. I thought that's a great city, and I'm not a football fan, so I was never bothered about the football. It's a good one. You do multiple copies of the same movies. Oh, everybody loves Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is your favorite. Sorry, I was just scrolling through the comments. I have the Halloween 3 soundtrack on vinyl. Me too. Me too. Great score. I think it's the best score Alan Howarth and Carpenter did. I love that score. It's so great. And they get that thing going. It's so good. The guy running down the road at the beginning with the headlights. Perfect soundtrack. And even the fact that the soundtrack with the pumpkin being shown electronically on screen is so great. It really is. Chariots of Pumpkins is, I think it's the best Halloween soundtrack, in my humble opinion. Yes, I like backing vocals and videos. Oh, cheers, man. You do like them. Cool. I finally got down to that. Yep. But yeah, I always try to do them. And if you do like them, tell us if you like them, and I'll put them on Boneyard Music. There's a couple of times people have said, I did a video on Martin, and someone said a couple of weeks ago, the George Romero film, they like the soundtrack, so I'll put them up on and send them links. Just private links. But if you like them, tell us, and I can stick them up on Boneyard Music. Fantastic. Degree in electronics. That's amazing. I can see where the love comes from then. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. I mean, that's why I loved all that early stuff. Like I was saying before, like Wendy Carlos, when it was literally, it was tones, and they were creating the tones. Some of that stuff is the best stuff, electronic music wise. I mean, there was a guy. Who was a guy in New York? Was it John Cage? Who was he was like a really avant-garde guy, and he would bang telephones and stuff and make these weird things happen. But when synths came out, or tones came out, I should say, when people were making tones, he really did some really cool stuff. Interesting stuff. Just proves the old adage, horror fans are multi-talented folks. We're multi-beautiful, multi-talented folks. Kraftwerk, yes, sorry, I just managed to scroll down to it. No way, Timbo, you live in Berlin now? Well, that's the center of it all, man. Literally, from Bowie, the center of it all. So that was cool. I'd love to live in Berlin, man. It's, I mean, I'm a huge, I know I say huge, and I say masterpiece and stuff all the time because I'm a pretty passionate fellow. But, I mean, Lou Reed in Berlin, Iggy Pop in Berlin, and Bowie in Berlin, that's the best stuff they did. It really is. The Idiot. I love the fact that they all kind of went there. Bowie took them there, gave them some time, gave them a studio. You know, they were all influenced by that kind of period. It's a really, I'd love to live in Berlin. I really would. I know Tron's amazing. That's the best thing about Tron, right, Timbo? The Tron soundtrack, and then Daft Punk, and then 9 Inch Nails. It's like they know totally what they're doing with soundtracks. Tron. I love Tron. I always loved the first movie. I know there's loads of people. It was a big flop, and I think so was the second one, Tron Legacy. But I thought they were great films, and I mean that like genuinely. I thought they were great films, Tron 1 and Tron Legacy. I think the new one's kind of just a rehash of Legacy visual wise. But the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack was brilliant. Really brilliant. But Tron's, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful film. I often put it on. I don't know why, but I often put Tron on Sunday afternoons. I'll have something to eat on Sunday, like a big meal, and I'll sit down and I'll watch Tron to chill out. That's probably a lot to do with the music and the score. I mean, it's so original. It really is. I mean, looking at electronic pioneers, we've got like Bernard Herrmann, and the score for Forbidden Planet, where the guy's doing the first ever total electronic score on Forbidden Planet, which is beautiful. And I love Bernard Herrmann stuff on the thing from Another World, and all the theremin stuff he did. Not the thing from Another World. Michael Rennie and Robert Weiss, The Day the Earth Stood Still. I love the soundtrack for The Day the Earth Stood Still. It made us try to build my own theremin. And obviously having a degree in electronics, I bet you tried it, did you, Timbo? I tried to build myself one. It was okay. It wasn't a good one, but I tried. But I love all that stuff. I really do. Yes, John Cage, you compose a piece of 4 minutes and 33 seconds of pure silence. That sounds like something Cage would have done. I love, I was just saying before about Lou Reed and Iggy Pop and Bowie and that kind of Berlin phase. There's a great thing that Lou Reed did when he just created this crazy album, Metal Machine Music, that was pretty much feedback from his amplifiers and things. And it was like, it was incredible. I mean, I like that kind of stuff though. So even though we recorded the 4.5 minutes of silence, it's not quite silence, because there's something really pure about the fact that he could do that. And I enjoyed it. It's not something I listen to all the time, obviously, but it's cool. The theremin, yes, the theremin, yes. The theremin. Brian Eno producing them. I love Brian Eno's music too. I like is it Airport Music? Another Green World. But he does a song. There was a documentary. I'm a big like space buff, and there was a documentary made called For All Mankind, and Eno did the soundtrack for it. And there's one song called Ascension in that. That's just fucking. I've just swore finally. I've been trying not to swear all night, but that Brian Eno track is just incredible on that For All Mankind soundtrack, Ascension. It's so beautiful. Music for Airports, that's what I was thinking of. There's Another Green World, and there's Music for Airports. Yeah, Brian Eno. But it was the theremin I was thinking of. Yeah, building a theremin. I try to build one, and it was not the best one, Bill. It wasn't, but it was okay. I managed to make a decent sound out of it anyway. It was similar to building a guitar. It was just trying to find the resonance. It's similar to, making the acoustic hole and the guitar like fit the right shape and get the right sound you wanted. It was like, but I didn't get the frequencies quite right, and it sounded a bit like, like Wet Farty, the one that I built. But I could try again. But I did try. I love all that stuff. I do. Right. Well, we're just about to hit midnight. So, does anybody else have any more questions? I guess we better call it a day now, because we've been going for a while. Is that 4 hours? We're hitting the 4-hour mark, Well, it's been my absolute pleasure to speak to everyone tonight. Great. Timbo, great. Solitude, Kerry, everyone that's been in the chat tonight has been fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us for this watch along of a movie that I consider to be a very great movie. But as usual, we ended up talking about everything from Brian Eno to Tangerine Dream to John Cage. It's been fantastic. It really is. So, okay, last thing then from Kerry. Okay, it's a bit out of left field. Beth Gibbons and Portishead. Any other fans in the house? Definitely a fan of Portishead. That was, well, I guess my era. I really like Portishead. I mean, they were great. A really good mixture of, I mean, it was pop, great pop, don't get us wrong, but like a mixture of the industrial sound that was popular, and they took it and made it so cool and poppy and just perfect, A little bit later, like when we got like Brian Malco and stuff as well. It was like, that's perfect. It was perfect music. I mean, it was a generation that was brought up on stuff like Bjork and, different sounds. If that makes any sense, Kerry. But yes, definitely a fan. Portishead, 100%. When Bowie talked about meeting Eno, he said that he met him in some pub. Eno was then part of Roxy Music. Eno stepped to Bowie and said, "Have you ever thought of replacing your band with someone known?" I can imagine. I really can't imagine. Eno was, I always thought Eno was a lot more part of Roxy Music than he was. He was only on a couple of albums. I always thought he was there for ages, but he always had a great thing about him, Eno. He was great. He still is. He's a great producer. Thanks, Bill. It's been my pleasure as well to chat. Thanks very much for joining us. People, as I think you are replaceable. Thanks for joining us, Kerry. Thanks for you kidding. It's been fantastic. I live for this shit. It's been great. Sorry you're a bit quiet at times. You weren't quiet. I'm sure I was quiet when I was watching the masterpiece that is The Hills Have Eyes. But as we already know now on this channel, there's many, many masterpieces. and we're going to watch them and talk about them, deconstruct them. But thanks very much, everyone. I'm going to call it a night because you wouldn't believe it, but it's empty. So, all right, good night, all. Thanks. I'll see you in the boneyard. And if you ever do want to have a chat, you can hit us up in the posts, comments. You can find my details on the channel if you ever want to speak to us via email on Boneyard Cinema. You can find Curry at Cinema Conversations 1979. Thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I mean, let's do another Wes Craven film again, because I think he is a bit of a master, in my opinion. Thanks, John and Kerry. Always a pleasure. Thanks. Take care, everyone. And remember, I was gonna try and come up with some like cool line there, but I can't. I'm too drunk. I always try to come up with some line at the end. But I'll just say take care, everyone. And thank you all so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and I'll see you.